This is Christian Nerd.
Okay. Looks like we will be kicking off in 4 minutes. Just fantastic. BLIZZCON. Amazing. Honestly, can't wait. I mean, they were playing like Overwatch music in the Overwatch channel, but I'm not sure if I'll have to swap to back to the Blizzard channel to like watch the opening ceremony. Like here, this is the music that plays in the Overwatch League. Like they swap between that and like just Overwatch music from the like the soundtrack on YouTube Music and Spotify, which I have listened to a lot. Well, a lot of them, they're very different to the originals in the game, and some of them are just exactly the same. Gotta get the money, gotta get on, gotta get home to Junkertown. I'm pretty sure you can only, like, the original version of that with those lyrics was in the Junkrat and Roadhog Junkertown short. Then Route 66. See, it says opening ceremony on the Blizzard channel, so I might have to swap channel when it hits 10 o'clock. Also, I can't get the full-on thing. In fact, I might be able to if I like stretch it a bit and shorten the length of my Streamlabs one. Don't need that much. There we go. That's way better. I need to make that a bit smaller. There we go. That's way better. It's a huge success. I need to bring this back in front. Oh, did not mean to click that. You know, it's back in front now, so I can't really complain. Yeah, okay. There we go. We've got Havana. Alexa, shush. That actually worked. Still, it's 10 o'clock, so just in case, I'm going to swap back to the Blizzard channel. Just in case, you know. Oh, it does in 7 seconds. There we go. It's going to be a long stream. Oh.
That feeling of just knowing a game is right for you when
Okay,
you
I think
first
that's
lay eyes
Hollywood.
on it. It's such a great feeling.
The thing that happens is you start
No
to
idea
feel
who that is.
the excitement just build up.
I'm thinking about it all the time, even in my sleep.
Still no idea.
Incluso a veces por una misma comunidad, te dejas de enamorar bastantísimo.
I play video games because I love stories.
Experiencing worlds that you can't experience as yourself.
I guess video games allow me to be what I can. It's fiction, but it's not.
You come home, log onto your PC, and disappear into a different world.
I am a part of something bigger, a part of something beautiful.
As an autistic person, video games give me a place where
Yeah, it was
I
that
could
one
be in a
shot.
world that made sense to me.
It's the Overwatch
I
show
will
that
tell
no one's
you
ever
that
heard
all
of.
of my family play video games.
Me and my brothers, we would share the computer 1 hour at a time.
저는 제 와이프랑 게임을 가장 많이 해요.
I'm really enjoying playing video games with my dad.
My children.
My little sister. That connection between video games, allowing us to converse with each other, added a lot to our relationship.
Games like the World of Warcraft let me meet people that I probably never would have.
I can honestly say I met some of my best friends through playing games.
We have this connection that allows us to share our joys, to share our achievements, to share our growth together.
Every
that
time I'm
Bastion
able to
name?
achieve something, I'm able to
Okay, BlizzCon has
make
ruined.
myself proud.
Stream's over.
Black Hand back in Warlords of Draenor was one of my favorite memories.
I managed to find that one hidden pylon with my one Mutalisk.
We beat hardcore Inferno Diablo.
I was able to hit gold in competitive in Overwatch.
They had someone say, oh, I can't lose to a girl. And I beat that guy.
So I was able to slay this warlock as a little gnome.
The guy they get to talk about Overwatch is like, I was so close to making it to gold.
Pela caminhada ter sido tão prazerosa e pela conquista ter vindo.
Why not get like
caramba, a gente conseguiu algo incrível aqui.
someone like average or above?
然后夺冠的时候，现场的女性工作人员，包括有些男的工作人员，他们都哭了。
Many years ago, I was doing a quest in Terracar Forest, and a lovely little mage came up and said, would you like a hand? They helped me for the rest of the day. We've been married now for over a decade.
Those video games filled a
That
void.
one's
They
actually
filled the
pretty cool.
friendships that I didn't have. There
That
isn't
one's
a
actually
huge
very nice.
LGBTQIA+ community in my city. So when I was able to play a video game, I was able to start talking with people.
If Soldier up to
who
represent
didn't really care about being
the
male.
gay
But video
etc.
games were my
community.
escape. When I was a teenager, my dad
And
was
there's Car
diagnosed
Q.
with ALS, and I looked
know
at
that
video
one.
games as a way to
I
escape
think he's
from
like
that sort of
assistant coach
reality.
for the Toronto
Everything
Defiant or
happens for a
something.
reason, and I'm just glad video games were there for me.
I'll never stop playing video games.
There's no way.
I imagine myself one day being
An
an
Outlaws
80-year-old
fan?
grandpa gamer.
Playing video games has shaped me. I don't think I would be who I am today.
My passion, my interest, my excitement, they belong.
Video games opened for me the world.
And because of that, I'm forever thankful.
And I can't wait to see what the next generation holds.
Oh, is that Vintage Coco? I've seen him before. That was really good. Off to a good start.
Welcome to BlizzCon Live, a celebration of 30 years of Blizzard communities, 30 years of Blizzard games. 30 years is so many years, and last year maybe felt like one of the longest of all. But throughout the years of Blizzard Entertainment, from 1991 to today, many of us can associate certain games with milestones in our lives. Maybe you were a little kid the first time you played The Lost Vikings. Or in high school when you first played a Diablo game. Or maybe you met your partner while you were playing World of Warcraft. That's the awesome thing about video games. They give us experiences that are relevant to the times in our lives and experiences that we carry forward with us. Games are here for us during good times, and they're here for us even when we feel alone or maybe uncertain. Games are coming home, familiar, comfortable, with a connection and a sense of belonging. And while many of us spent most of 2020 in our actual real-life homes, games became even more of a place to get away, be free from outside concerns, even if just for a little while. So, this is pretty weird. Usually, when we start BlizzCon, the opening call is to my favorite Warcraft faction, the Alliance. Or my favorite faction, the Horde. I get confused.
I feel like half of the
Usually,
viewership just
I'd be
left.
speaking to 40,000 of you in person, the Anaheim Convention Center, and millions of you around the world. And usually, that would be a perfect
There are
place to
some
celebrate.
World of Warcraft players who just left
But nothing
when he said he
about
liked
the
the
last year
Alliance.
has been usual. The pandemic has been hard on everyone, and for many different reasons. But if there's one thing that the last year has taught us, it's that being apart physically doesn't stop us from moving forward. It doesn't stop us from connecting with our player friends around the world, diving in as warriors and heroes, and checking on each other as humans. It doesn't stop us from sharing our latest epic gaming story,
World
or
Cup.
celebrating
That was
those
last
others.
year, then South Korea
Games
lost.
continue to unite us. Now,
They'd won every other year,
to
and
be
then they
honest,
lost. 'Cause
I wasn't
America.
sure how well Blizzard could work from home. There are thousands of people, all needing to work together in creating our universes, games, and experiences. Never has it felt more true that it takes a Blizzard to make a Blizzard game. And in 2020, it became clear that the magic of creating at Blizzard isn't just tied to a physical location. It's tied to the people who work here, and I continue to be so proud of each and every one of them. Thank you, Blizzard. We create these games and pour all of our energy and heart into them, but it is you, the Blizzard community, that brings them to life. And that's why BlizzCon Live is a celebration of you, the guild leaders, healers, DPS, tanks, innkeepers,
Imagine playing
Zerg,
DPS.
Terran, Protoss, Blackwatch, Shimada, the heroes of Sanctuary
Imagine playing a
and
Shimada.
of the Storm. These next few
What's
days
worse
are
than
for
playing
you,
Genji?
our
Or
Blizzard
playing
community.
Hanzo.
For World of Warcraft,
I'm
we'll
just
be
trying to
showing
talk
you
now. I feel
what's
like I'm being
next
too
for both
silent.
Shadowlands and Classic. I'm sure you're all burning in anticipation for that one. Hearthstone is getting back to its roots in a major way. We can't wait to show you how. We also have news for our Diablo community. Some of you were able to dip your toes into the depths of hell in the Diablo Immortal Technical Alpha. I really enjoyed seeing players embrace the multiplayer aspect of meeting in town. We can't wait for more of you to get your hands on it. So, only the beginning of the year, and already there is so much to look forward to, even though we can't yet be together in person.
Can I look forward to
Overwatch League
Overwatch 2?
We'll be kicking things off in spring. And
Yeah,
we'll be
Overwatch
watching
League
closely
was
to
dope.
see if the San Francisco Shock can continue their championship run. World of Warcraft Esports is
San
back
Francisco Shock.
with the Arena World
Gone
Championship
crazy.
and
They lost
Mythic Dungeon
arms.
International already in full swing
I mean,
in Shadow.
they won Season
StarCraft
2
2
because, you
and
know,
Warcraft
they had
3
Sinatra,
esports
and
are
Sinatra
going
just
strong
carried.
with
Then
our
Season
friends
3,
at the
they had
ESL Pro Tour.
Arns and Moth.
And qualifiers
I mean, the
already
tanks,
underway
Smurf
for the
and
first
Choi,
online stop
they
of the
are obviously
2021
really good.
Hearthstone Masters Tour.
But, you know, they also
First event taking
just
place
lost
next
two really good players in the off-season, so
But
I'm not sure
before we get
how
too
they're
far
going to do in
let's take a look
Season 4.
one last time. Twin times were a little simpler.
Should I go get my
In the early
Overwatch League
1990s,
jersey?
the internet was a baby. CD sales had finally eclipsed cassette tapes. Cassette tape is a rectangle piece of plastic, and there's a tape inside, and music would get recorded on, and sometimes you needed a pencil to wind it and make it tight. I know, it sounds crazy. We were all playing video games on Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, DOS, or Mac PCs. I personally was a master of config sys and auto exec bat. So many simple things in simple times. If only we could relive them.
this?
The stage is set. The green flag drops.
Is this Blizzard Smash Bros? Blizzard Arcade Collection, okay. West Vikings, Russian Always, and Blackthorn. The 3 Vikings is the only one I've heard of.
Now we're talking. What a play! Crank up the volume! Unbelievable! Whoa!
Yeah, I honestly don't feel that this is too big of an announcement. We know they're bigger announcements
The
for
Blizzard
specific games
Arcade
later.
Collection, featuring
Gonna
the
be
Lost
watching World
Vikings,
War
Rock and Roll
obviously.
Racing, and Blackthorn. These are ports of the games just as you remember them, allowing you to relive the original experience of all 3 titles in 13 different languages, with a couple of quality of life upgrades. As an example, we include very modern, cutting-edge functionality that wasn't available in the early 90s, both saving and loading of games. And for those of you who purchased any Blizzard Digital Anniversary Bundle via Battle.net, you'll automatically receive the Blizzard Arcade Collection on PC today.
Now, I was tempted to get it,
You ready to hear about some other video
but
games?
you know, I would
Let's hear
only
what's
get it
next
to
for
get the
World of Warcraft.
Reinhardt skin. It's like £30 maybe. This is World of Warcraft stuff. That was their original baby. That's how they became big.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. No matter where you are, World of Warcraft unites us all. Whether you're exploring the Shadowlands, classic Azeroth, or another part of the Blizzard universe, I'm glad you could make it, because we've got a lot of good stuff to show you. But first, let's start with some Covenant pride. Kyrian, take flight! Nightfey, let the hunt begin. Necrolords, to war! Vinthir, let's party! The world has thrown a lot at us since the last BlizzCon, and the thing that's really kept everyone going on the WoW team has been connecting with all of you. The bonds we forge with our guilds and family and friends in WoW are powerful and real. As WoW enters its 16th year and Blizzard celebrates its 30th anniversary, we're so grateful to have the most dedicated and friendly communities in gaming. Let's recap the events in Azeroth.
Friendly community.
In WoW Classic, we fought an endless
The
battle
Overwatch
for
community
South
is
Shore and Torren Mill.
famous
We
for
banded
being
together to
not
open
very
the gates
friendly
of
community.
Ahn'Qiraj and joined forces to take down Kel'Thuzad in his floating citadel of Naxxramas. In Shadowlands, we helped our Covenant recover from the Anima drought, brought on by Sire Denathrius, master of the Vinthir and traitor to the Pantheon of Death. We survived the halls of Torghast and crafted legendary gear in our efforts to expel Denathrius from his castle lair. But innocent souls are still wrongfully being sent to the Maw. They face an eternity of torment, and heroes like Anduin remain chained in its depths. The jailer continues to grow in power. He's preparing to break free from the Maw and complete his plan to unmake the entire Warcraft universe. And Sylvanas, you may be wondering what she's been up to all this time. Today, we're excited to unveil our first major content update for Shadowlands, Chains of Domination.
I feel like World of Warcraft fans just having a stroke at the moment.
What makes you believe you're not just a weapon to achieve his ends?
Enough! Join our cause, or be made to serve.
Right now, you hold all the power. Make your choice, Sylvanas Windrunner.
Is that just the intro to this?
The maw continues to grow. What if Denathrius' treachery is irreparable? The Primus is lost, and Bastion cannot save the Shadowlands alone.
None of this should have happened.
Perhaps the Winter Queen could.
My Archon, a living soul, seeks an audience.
A mortal?
A king. By all our measures, one who has spent his life striving for justice. One who would give anything to serve his people. One whose heart is true.
Very well. He may approach. Step forward. My Ascended have spoken of you. The king, held captive in the maw.
That prison could not hold me forever.
Why have you come to Bastion?
You have a key that I need.
You will release this soul from your grasp.
No. He is bound to me, just as you once sought to bind your own brother.
I think that Ghostly will be putting forward Mr. Clifford.
The vessel performed its part flawlessly. 3 keys remain. Then they will see. Death was never meant to be chained.
How's this game been getting updates for 16
That is
years?
so intense. I know you probably have a lot of questions about what you just saw and what it means for the next stage of your Shadowlands journey. Later today, my teammates Ian and Jeremy will be telling you more about Chains of Domination in our Shadowlands update. Please check out the World of Warcraft channel to find out more. Next, I'm excited to share our upcoming World of Warcraft charity pet program. We've heard a lot from our community about how much they love these pets and the opportunity to give to a good cause, along with ideas to make the program even better. So during
Mind
this
the wrong
upcoming
channel.
campaign, you'll be able to donate whatever amount you wish to directly support our chosen charity. Once donations reach our goal, everyone playing World of Warcraft will get a pet for their collection as a thank you, whether you were able to contribute personally or not. And to make this a fun challenge, if we
need to
reach a
check
stretch
the,
goal, everyone gets a
website.
second pet too. And here they are. The first pet is Bananas, literally. He was originally available to a select few back in Burning Crusade era, so we're excited to give everyone a chance to adopt him. And if we reach our stretch goal, you'll also get
Schedule.
Daisy the Sloth. She's an all-new pet who'll hang around your neck when you need a hug. Your donations during this campaign will go to support the medical.
Yeah, okay, so opening ceremony goes until 11
also
PM.
known by
Good
their
to know.
French name, Médecins Sans Frontières, or MSF. They're an amazing group doing important work around the world. We're grateful to have such a generous community, and we hope you'll help support this worthy cause. We'll be sharing the details about the charity pet program on the World of Warcraft website soon. So we've talked quite a bit about Shadowlands. Classic players, now it's your turn. It's my pleasure to hand off to my teammate, Holly Longdale. She's a longtime WoW player, a veteran MMO developer, and she's going to tell us what's in store for WoW Classic.
There's Torbjorn.
Hi, everybody. First,
Wow, nice.
I'd like to thank all of you
That's
who've
cool.
ever been part of the WoW community over the years. You know, online worlds like WoW have been a huge part of our lives for decades now.
Full 4K.
As a dedicated MMO fan and a developer myself, I remember hearing that Blizzard was going to be making their own MMO. And I thought, well, I guess I'll check out that beta. And sure, we all call the game WoW. But really, wow. I could not believe I got bit
Such
by the
an original
MMO bug
joke.
again. I was so excited to be able to make a night elf hunter and be like that famous dark elf ranger from the books that I loved. I have to tell you, Azeroth was, and still is, a place I love to live. Since last year, I've had the great honor to work alongside
Is
the
that
WoW
how
Classic team
watch streaks
to
work?
bring these
I didn't
nostalgic
know that.
experiences back to life for longtime fans and a whole new generation of
Didn't know
players.
you get more points for a
As a
watch
fan
streak.
myself, I've had so much fun in
I mean,
WoW.
I don't really care about this
From
bit.
the
I've
simple
never played
things
World
like
of Warcraft.
drive-by buffing or making friends on that long haul from Teldrassil to Ironforge, all the way to the absolutely staggering, like when I jumped
Is
blindly
the entire
through the
opening
dark portal
ceremony
and
just
was running through
World of
Hellfire
Warcraft?
Peninsula,
Are we getting
heard
anything
this
for,
terrifying
anything
noise,
else?
and then saw the Fell Reaver, biggest roamer I had ever seen, and I was very glad I had feigned death in that moment. And that's the thing about WoW. These stories and experiences we all share keep us coming back time after time.
Yeah.
With that said, I'm super
mean,
excited to be able to share
it
with you
looks cool,
where
but you
our
know, it's
adventures
just
are taking us.
it isn't relevant to me. I don't think I should just start a game and put it in the corner.
You dare
I mean, I'm sure there's going to be like a section of the opening that'll be for Overwatch, which will actually be interesting. Because, you know, all I want is Overwatch 2 news. Like, please. It has been over a year since we've gotten any news. We were told about the game last BLIZZCON, and then we have received nothing. Like, there was a, beta that you could play at last BlizzCon, and only a select few people got to play that, and it exists, and no one has been able to play it since. Oh yeah, nightmare. I'm scared to ask what happened, because things are just weird.
Take my
sometimes.
blood and choke on it.
Death to the outsiders!
I'll turn your world upside down.
Wasn't that the baby from Family Guy or something? Sounded like it. Are we done with World of Warcraft yet?
Brings back so many memories, right? Like exploring the fungal forests of Zangarmarsh, or being awestruck at the chaotic magic alive in Netherstorm.
Okay.
The
Check
Draenei in Exodar, the Blood Elves in Silvermoon. I
schedule.
love playing them both. Do you choose to enlist the Aldor or the Scryers in your quest to fight the Legion?
Oh yeah, I can imagine that being a really bad nightmare,
to
you
fight
know.
Illidan at the top of the Black Temple. I
Thank
can't
God
wait
we
to
got Odyssey
relive it
2
all
though.
with you. Since
And
the
thank
team
God we
first
got
set out on their
Blastertron
own
announced
quest
for
to
Smash.
bring the original WoW back
No, I'm
to
really
life,
glad about
we
that.
have learned a ton about what players are expecting from this kind of experience. We've also learned when to keep things just as they were.
Okay, so
and
what
where
time
we all
is...
might be open to some
Okay, so
changes.
starting at 11,
Bringing all
it's
these
just
lessons into Burning
a
Crusade
cartoon,
Classic,
apparently,
with our
for
primary
5
goal to bring back
minutes.
the same feeling you had when you
Then
faced
starting
the Fell Reader for the first time,
11:05,
or
we have behind the scenes of Overwatch 2, which lasts 30 minutes, which should be some Overwatch 2
we
news.
can't get this right
Like,
without
they
you,
can't avoid it.
our incredible community. Soon you'll be able to revisit Outland yourself when beta starts.
And then we'll have a 10-minute break,
Later,
since
all
everything
WoW
there
Classic players
is
are going to be presented with a
either
meaningful
Diablo
choice
or World
for
of
each
Warcraft.
one of your beloved characters.
And then we get the Voices
You
of
want to move
Overwatch,
on
which is
into Burning
always the
Crusade
best panel.
Classic? Or
I'm hoping for
do you want to
the
stay in
I'm
the
hoping
original
for
classic era
Reinhardt,
forever?
voice actor. He's really cool.
Whatever you decide, you can do
They're
it
probably
all
going
with
to
your
have
one month
the Echo
subscription.
voice actor.
Now, I know I've thrown a lot at you, but don't worry. We'll be getting into the details in our panel later today. So stick with
Oh
us.
yeah.
We'll
That
make
just
sure
sounds
you
horrible. Imagine
are
if that actually
prepared.
happened. You know.
And now
Yeah.
we're going to hear what's coming up
Imagine.
in Hearthstone.
Oh, now we get Hearthstone. I totally care. Isn't Hearthstone just a card game? Yeah, I had to watch Hearthstone ads all the time while I was watching
We're truly
Overwatch League.
excited to share with you everything that's coming to Hearthstone this year. But first, let's take a quick look back at the year of the Phoenix. We added our first new class, the Demon Hunter, and ventured into the ruthless Outlands. Then we went to Skullman's Academy and got to explore dual class cards
Yeah,
and
okay.
their powerful synergies.
So,
And with our third expansion of the year,
at
we brought you Hearthstone's
11
biggest
o'clock, which
update
is
ever.
30 minutes from now,
Alongside the menacing
we
odds
get
in Madness
a
and
cartoon
Dark Moon Fair.
for the 30th
We launched
anniversary.
a brand new game,
Then,
Duel,
no,
that saw more than
5
10 million
past,
matches on its
we
first
get
day.
behind the scenes of Overwatch
We also
2.
introduced our
And then
long-awaited
at
achievement
quarter to
and made a
12, we
significant
get the
overhaul
Voices of
to the rewards
Overwatch.
and progression within the game.
Then at
Now, it's time to say
12.
farewell to the year of the Phoenix.
Wait, how long does
See
Voices of
what's in
Overwatch
store
last?
for Hearthstone
Oh, that
this
lasts
year.
for like
Welcome
an hour and a
to
half.
the year
Okay, yeah, so watching
of the
that until 10 past 1.
Over the last couple of years,
And
we've
then
made big
there's
changes.
Overwatch
Throughout the year of the
creating a
Griffin, we want to
soundtrack,
keep
and I've
delivering
listened to
fun, new
the adapted
experiences.
soundtrack a
And
lot.
make sure
It's really
that
good.
The tens of millions of
And
you
then
playing Hearthstone are always excited
that lasts for
to
20
log in.
minutes, and then
First
at
up, we'll be giving the standard
1:30
biggest shake-up ever
there's the
with
wrap
the
up,
launch of the core set
and
later
then
this year. The
I
core
will
set
be
replaces
streaming
the old basic
BlizzCon again
cards
tomorrow
with a collection
because
of
it's a 2-day event.
235 cards made up of some of the best
God, I'm gonna be here
throughout
for
the
so
years,
long.
as well as
It's gonna be such a
29
long stream.
awesome brand new cards. And the best thing about the core set is that it's entirely free.
Yeah, so this'll end like
There's
20 to
never been
2.
a better
Oh
time
god.
to get into
Okay.
Hearthstone. Here are 3 of Hearthstone's legendary dragons, reimagined to feel more up to date and competitive for modern day Hearthstone. Ysera the Dreamer. You'll finally receive her full
To the Smash roster.
right away.
Oh, I would
She's a
love
nightmare
Smug to be in Smash. Yeah. If Smug was in
Malygos the
Smash,
Spellweaver.
that would
He'll
just
fill
be
your
a
hand
dream
with
come
spells
true.
And is a powerful late game play, worthy of the aspect of magic.
But you know, he'd
And
just be
finally,
SSS
everyone's
tier.
favorite Black Dragon.
He'd be even better than Meta Knight in Melee.
He's still as destructive as ever, but timed correctly, he won't leave you empty-handed. We'll also be launching a brand new format, Classic, where you can play Hearthstone as it was when it first launched. The classic
Oh,
format
God.
will be fully supported.
My
complete with ranks and
headphone
rewards
wire
using
is like
Hearthstone's
super
original set of
tangled, and I'm trying to pull it and untangle it, but you know,
you want to relive the old
it's
school
hitting
then
things
Classic is the place for you.
because it has like a
With
USB
Classic
thing,
revisiting the past.
which
Now,
when you plug it
let's
in,
take a look
the
to
headphones
future
light up, and I don't have that on
explore
because
the
you
first
know,
expansion of the year of the Griffin.
I just want to make this less tangled so it's longer.
Of the Horde.
Wait, is that
All
Winston?
roads lead to the crossroads. You have come for adventure. But the Baron...
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I've been checking my phone, like, the entire time. I'm just waiting for the good stuff to start.
Your wits must be keen. And your heart must be mighty. Strength and honor. This is who we are.
For the Horde, isn't that World of Warcraft? What? I know nothing about this.
That's right. We're headed to one of Warcraft's most iconic locales.
Where is the Raptor from
And we'll
Ark
come
Survival
face to
Evolved?
face with
Wow.
the heroes that inhabit it. Starting with one of the Horde's most iconic and well-known characters. A fierce loyalist, one-time war chief that embodies the honor, loyalty, and spirituality of the Horde. Shadowhunter Vol'jin. Shadowhunter Vol'jin is a neutral legendary that allows you to either bolster your own board or weaken that of your opponents. And to celebrate the announcement of Forged in the Barrens, this card is available for free for everyone later today. So log into Hearthstone and claim your free copy of Shadowhunter Vol'jin.
I'm not sure if they're getting
as a
bored of
bonus,
recording this. I mean, they actually
also
know
giving
what,
away the brand
like,
new 30 years
Hearthstone
Blizzard
is,
card bank.
so...
Next, we have another hero of the Horde, who is making his first appearance in Hearthstone. The legendary Blade Master, Samuro, featuring the new keyword, Frenzy. Frenzy activates the first time a minion takes damage, and survives. In Samuro's case, this can be used to clear your opponent's board. Heroes of
Okay,
the
so
Horde,
just looking
like
at
Samuro,
it,
are famous for their
it looks
combat
like,
prowess.
looks like Hearthstone is literally just, Sky Stones.
Take a look at this new
Wait, no,
shaman
it's Sky Stone
Chain
Smash
Lightning.
from, Trap Team.
Chain Lightning is a spell in a new
Okay.
cycle of cards that rank up and become
When did
more
Hearthstone come out? I
powerful,
need to
bringing
check
up 5
this.
and 10 mana, ensuring that they're always useful at every stage in the game. You'll also notice that they're categorized as
2014,
nature
okay?
spells. With
And
Forged in the Barrens, we'll be permanently introducing spell schools across the entire game, which enables a whole host of exciting new strategies. And don't worry,
Damn.
members of the Alliance will be featuring some of your most beloved heroes and locales later
I
this
mean,
year.
they don't really have playable characters
love
in
most
Odyssey,
about
they
the
have
War
captures.
is its
If you
amazing
could capture
characters.
Smug, that would be
Final
amazing.
announcement
Just
is
to
our
have
most
the
ambitious addition to
ultimate
Hearthstone.
power
It
of
introduces a
Smug.
brand new way to play with your favorite heroes. Hearthstone Mercenaries. Mercenaries features strategic RPG gameplay, where you build teams consisting of some of the most iconic heroes and villains from the Warcraft universe, including timeless characters like the infamous Sylvanas Windrunner, and Ragnaros, the elemental lord of fire.
Fire person.
You can also expect to see
Is that
some
one
of
from
Hearthstone's fan
Moana?
favorites, like the unstoppable Devil Sword, King Crush, and the
He's just a
ever-growing
dinosaur.
Gruul the Dragon Slayer. You'll lead them in battle through highly replayable roguelike missions, where the map is randomly generated every time you play.
Oh, it's a
and
Dynamax
each node
adventure.
represents a unique challenge for your team to take on. Your heroes gain levels new abilities, equipment, and can even evolve into more powerful versions of themselves. We're thrilled to finally show you Hearthstone Mercenaries. It is scheduled to launch later this year, and we'll have more to share with you down the road.
I mean, fair enough.
Everything you've
Smug
seen
is
today
just so
is
powerful
just a
that you
taste
can't
of what's
capture him.
coming in the Year of the Griffin. So don't forget to tune in to our deep dive panel
Come on,
after the
can we have
opening ceremony,
Overwatch now, please?
where we'll share more details on the core set,
You know,
the
they
new
might
classes
just
format,
announce a
Force in the
new
Barrens,
hero or
and our
something.
plans for Battlegrounds and Duels, as well as our
Like, there
upcoming
could be
single-player
some big stuff here.
I want to thank the team for their amazing work. And on behalf of all of
They're
us
just like,
at
haha,
Hearthstone,
the
we
next
want to
one
thank
is
the many millions of
StarCraft
you
or
who
something.
play our game.
Or
Your
Heroes of the
dedication
Storm.
and support is what drives us to make awesome updates.
Yeah,
and pursue
Smug would just
ambitious and
kick
fun
Mario
play
out of the player one
we
slot.
can't wait to kick off the Year of the Griffin with all of you, and we hope to see you in the game soon. Next up, we get an update on all things Diablo.
Damn it!
Hey everyone, thank you very much for joining us. I am so excited to kick off the Diablo segment of our show, and I am honored to be here on behalf of all of our Diablo teams to share the news and updates we have in store for you today.
I just want
We've
Overwatch
got
stuff,
a lot
please.
of Diablo to cover, and I hope you'll agree with me that it's a great time to be a member of this community. All right, let's kick things off with Diablo 4. We first shared our game with you during BLIZZCON of 2019, and we've been truly humbled by your response. We've kept in touch through quarterly updates and sincerely appreciate the thoughts and valuable feedback you've provided as we unveil more and more of the game and share in its development. After all, Diablo belongs to you as much as it belongs to us. Most recently, we teased an update to our campfire screen, and savvy fans, of course, understood that we meant more than just the character lighting and fire visual effects. That's right. Today, we're happy to announce a brave new soul joining the barbarian, the sorcerer, and the druid on this dangerous journey back to Sanctuary. A class is one of the most exciting things you can announce in a Diablo game. This one is especially exciting to me, as it's a
I know nothing
re-envisioning
about
of one of the
Diablo.
first classes to ever appear in the series. Let's have a look.
Oh, they've got a full-on animation for us. I mean, to be fair, none of this is as bad as DC girls fight bad guys and then go back to school and try to be popular. Like, oh, it's probably in the order of this. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. This is the order of their favorite games: World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, Diablo, Overwatch, the rest of them. No, you got StarCraft and Heroes of the Storm, and some World of Warcraft thing.
I was a thief who stole
Online
from
art
those
gallery
more
coming soon. I've seen that somber art before.
I strayed from your light and found my trade in the shadows. They call it murder. I say, job well done.
So there's a reason for that, like 17 plus warning.
A heretic. A murderer. Father. Will Akira save me?
You mock our light. But those monsters will scourge our life.
are settled, and you owe me.
The name you see is. Thank the heavens for you.
Heavens? I assure you, Father, the heavens didn't send me.
I honestly like the animation. I mean, it's very Blizzard-esque, and I like that. I like Blizzard's style of animation. Like someone talks about what they've done, and then it shows what they've done. And then it cuts back when the other person is talking. Oh.
Just the sound of that ear getting pierced by the hook is so brutal. I feel like it's gonna haunt me for a long time. I've been a huge fan of the Rogue ever since the original Diablo. Even seeing them come back as NPCs and mercenaries in Diablo 2's Rogue Encampment served as a great bridge between the games. With the setting of Diablo 4 being a larger world than we've ever played in before, we're excited to show you not just what the successors to the original rogues in the series have been up to since the fall of their order, but also what some of the other rogues in the world of Sanctuary might look like. The mantra for Diablo 4 has been customization first, and the Rogue takes this to a whole new level. From the beginning, the Rogue has been an incredibly flexible class.
I don't know. But you know, I presume they're giving 10 minutes to each game in this section. So, there's like another 6 minutes of this and then we should get Overwatch news.
Or a cloak and dagger road from the darkest alleys
Where we might get a new hero, a new map, more info on Overwatch 2,
by customizing the looks,
a mix of
the
all
background,
three.
and the playstyle of your character. Please stick around for our segment later today, where I'll be joined by other members of the Diablo 4 team to share a closer look at the Rogue class, as well as some of the open world gameplay that we're bringing to the game. Spoilers, those severed ears are not just for show. But Diablo 4 is not the only Diablo game we're talking about today. If you're looking for an authentic Diablo experience on mobile, we've got you covered. Diablo Immortal has everything you'd expect from a AAA action RPG. From the visceral combat and epic loot to an all-new story, bridging the gap between the events of Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. Later today, you can join the Immortal team, where they'll talk about some of the things they've learned from their recent alpha test and what's next for the game. But that's still not all. We have one last bit of very exciting
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like every single one of these announcements so far, someone has just jumped out of their chair, done a backflip over it, and thrown it through a window.
Reverent tone we reserve for that golden era of Diablo. Maybe you share
I have not done that yet. You know, maybe in the Overwatch section, but you know, my chair is pretty heavy and I can't do a backflip. And there are blinds on my window, and it'd be pretty expensive.
And not just in Sanctuary years.
I'm tired.
So, we have a special
I'm not
surprise for
doing
you
that.
today. Let's check it out.
Oh great, another animation. This is better than just him talking.
Now you know what I seek, Marius. Are these the demons from... Don't do it! It seems not there. Fool! Arise, Diablo, Lord of Terror.
If I throw my computer, then the stream will probably end.
Though this be our darkest
My
hour,
computer is pretty, you know,
it may
heavy
yet be
and
your
expensive.
greatest
And heavily expensive.
After more than 20 years, the Dark Wanderer has returned. And once again, he travels east. Always east. Diablo 2 is a landmark game for Blizzard. Diablo 2 Resurrected is a full HD remaster of both the original game and the expansion, Lord of Destruction. It takes the 2D sprite-based classic that we love and brings it into the present in 3D, utilizing up-to-date graphical rendering and lighting technologies. It also includes modernizing all 27 minutes of cinematics, recreated shot for shot.
What, 27 minutes of cinematics in like a 20-year-old game?
And the pacing of the original movie.
What?
Blizzard has a long history of games that we're proud of.
That's just the most Blizzard thing I've ever heard.
Diablo 2,
I mean, it does seem a bit Nintendo as well, but you know, Nintendo are a lot more into the heavy cutscenes these days.
I think that some of you weren't even born when D2 was released, which makes it all the more important that we deliver an authentic experience wherever you play. We want everyone to relive their memories or experience the game for the very first time on their platform of choice. And so we're excited to bring Diablo 2 Resurrected, PC and console, along with cross-progression. And for those of you who are in love with the original, and you just wish it worked more seamlessly on modern computers, you can bring back all of that nostalgia exactly as you remember, and enjoy the game in its original 2D form, much like we did with StarCraft Remastered. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about. Later today, Diablo speedrunner Mr. Llama will host a roundtable with members of the development team on the dedicated Diablo channel.
They just have a Diablo speedrunner in this. What?
So, from Diablo 2 Resurrected, to Burning Crusade Classic, to the Blizzard Arcade Collection, it's a whole lot of looking back.
Wait, do we
And
not
while
get...
we have teams dedicated to bringing these timeless experiences into your hands, it's actually a very small percentage of our developers working on these projects. Far more people are working on the future of Blizzard. And in addition to what we'll be talking about during the show,
Go on, please, just talk about Overwatch stuff, please. Please, 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 please.
And beyond. If you had asked us 30 years ago what gaming would look like today, none of us could have predicted the current Blizzard lineup of games. The advances in technology are one thing, but it's really what those advances have enabled that's even more incredible. If you think about the people who play games and the communities that have grown up around them, the way people can connect instantly, no matter where they are in the world.
How come everyone else gets to backflip over their chair and I don't? They are literally showing Overwatch cosplayers, yet they have given nothing in the form of Overwatch yet.
The explosion of things like streaming, cosplay.
Oh, there's Faria.
It would have been hard to
Never watched
imagine
them, but you know, I've heard of them.
at Blizzard. That is what excites us about the next 30 years.
Yeah,
There is
the next
so
30
much
years,
that we're
you
working
know, when hopefully Overwatch
Some
2
of
will
it
come out.
You already know about. The rest, we look
I
forward
mean,
to
if
talking to you
Overwatch
about
only
it
gives
when
patch
the time is
news, then I'll be very surprised and very upset
Just like
because
the real
they literally have a
World of
segment
Warcraft,
called Behind the
Starcraft,
Scenes of Overwatch 2.
Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch, and Hearthstone are diverse, expansive, and full of potential. We are not only iterating on the experiences that you've come to expect from us, we're also exploring different ways to express our
I
world
still don't know if he has a
welcome
ponytail or
more
not.
players from more
I
places
can't tell.
and we aspire to
He
continue to
looks
lead
like he has a
on priorities
ponytail, but I haven't
like
seen the
accessibility
ponytail.
and toxicity control, and the continued supporting
He's
causes
probably
that
sleeping.
have a
He's
positive
just
impact
always
on the real
sleeping.
world.
He goes to
We
bed
wanna
way too
continue to
early, and I
bring
don't know why.
those same
I'm staying up
feelings
until
of
like
joy
2 a.m. to
we
stream
all
this.
felt when we first defeated the Lich King, the Diablo on hardcore mode. Because when we geek out on those experiences with others, we can't help but see the similarities between them.
He also said, or told me that next time that I stream Geometry Dash, I need to stream it at a more reasonable time, because he goes to bed too early.
Finally unveil those games and experiences. Our hope
I mean,
is
I
that
will be
you
doing
see
another
them
Geometry Dash
what we
stream, since that one wasn't really a proper Geometry Dash stream, and I want to do a Geometry Dash
They are
speedrun,
spaces where you can create
because I think that'd be funny.
forge new friendships and make memories worthy of lasting a
You
lifetime.
know, he is obsessed with Geometry Dash. It is just unhealthy.
Our mission statement of being dedicated.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting alt for Overwatch until we're actually in the Overwatch channel.
Along with our core values, led by gameplay first, will continue
Yeah,
to
he's a
guide our
dash dasher.
On behalf
Is that what
of
they call
everyone
them?
at Blizzard, thank you for being on
Yeah,
this
yeah.
journey. For me personally, it is the honor of my professional life to serve
You know, he looks like he would
honor
have a
of all of
ponytail.
us at Blizzard
Honestly.
to be the caretaker
I just haven't seen it.
of the worlds that you play in.
Come on, do a little
We
spin.
are so excited for what's to come this year, next year, and the next 30 years. Now, what's coming next for the show? Well, it depends on where you watch. For those of you looking for an update on Overwatch,
Yes!
check out the behind-the-scenes look into the development of Overwatch 2 over
Please.
on their dedicated channel right after the conclusion of opening ceremonies. There, you'll hear about Overwatch 2, new content, new features, including new maps, hero missions, talent trees, and more of what we think will make Overwatch 2 a unique gameplay experience.
Great, I
World
don't
of
feel it.
Warcraft,
Wait, did he have
Diablo,
earrings?
Hearthstone, you'll get a closer look.
Okay, can you zoom in again, please?
And on the dedicated strategy channel, some
No, I
StarCraft
don't think he
legends
does.
will be going head-to-head in epic competition. Once again,
Still unconclusive on the ponytail.
be good to one another. Welcome home. Before we kick things off, here's a little something from a previous BlizzCon headline.
Hey, thanks for having us. We're Metallica. Thanks for having us at BlizzCon 2014.
Wow.
We would love to be there this year, but obviously can't be.
I didn't know that Metallica were at BlizzCon 2014.
Here we are, and this is for you.
What? This is the most interesting thing yet. I also think my ears might bleed. It's too late for this. Like, Blizzard games are huge in South Korea. It's like probably 5 AM or something. I mean, he did say that we have news on new maps. Now, we're not sure if those are the new maps that were announced at last BlizzCon, you know, like Rio and the other one that I can't remember the name of, and then Toronto. Oh yeah, it was Monaco. There was Monaco, Toronto, and Rio. Those all end in O. I think that's a coincidence too. Never know. Oh, there are waves. I wonder if people like them do like normal old people stuff, or do they just walk around town saying, "Hey, yeah, I'm in Metallica." Yeah. Or do they like go to bingo games? Oh, perfect. That they just had a school to take over. No, this is back on track. I mean, I thought this was about Blizzard, but you know, Metallica. Why? It's not a bad why, it's just why. Wait, I think they released some of it early. What? I think Overwatch accidentally released some of their stuff early on Twitter. Don't need to watch this for sound.
That you all want to hear more about Overwatch 2. Allow us to invite you behind the scenes to explain more of what we're doing and why.
Everybody, please hit record. Fingers crossed. We lost Scott.
So thank you so much for your patience so far, and I hope you enjoy this behind the scenes look at Overwatch 2.
Yeah, okay, that's Carbot, so we can safely move on to the Overwatch one. I think they're just showing off all of their games in order. I think. Just in a fun little way, which I think is pretty cool. is just the same thing.
Your death will. Morta Vespa Gaia Inum.
Help! Help!
You know, I like this format. Very cool.
Strike with great vengeance.
You are not prepared! Frostborn hungers for your soul. Your time has come. Strange.
Greetings to you. Seems you're ready for the real thing.
Oh, Heroes of the Storm.
Watch your back.
Hey, look at me!
Oh, looks like we got an audience.
I'm getting good at this. I am in the groove.
Turret online.
Surprise! Piece of cake.
I love it. Just these big bastards, and then they just roll out on the payload. Just the symmetric killdozer. It's amazing. Okay, what's next on the list? I think it was the, oh, yeah, it was behind the scenes of Overwatch 2. Great. Finally.
Welcome everybody to BLIZZCon. We know that
Yeah,
you
it's Big
all
Jeff.
want to hear more about Overwatch 2.
Yeah,
Allow us
obviously.
to invite you behind the scenes to explain more of what we're doing
Was that
and why.
Maximilian? I think that was
please hit
Maximilian.
record. Fingers crossed. We lost Scott.
It's off to a good start.
This is going great.
We've been assembling one of the best teams
The
that I have
animation
ever
was the
worked
last
with.
BlizzCon.
I'm nervous.
And I'm so proud of the progress that we have made together.
Wait,
We really
that's
like
Sojourn
the
gameplay.
stylized drop down.
What?
Imagine that it's coming forward, boom, boom. This starts to spin.
The scale
That's
and the scope
Sojourn
of this
gameplay.
game have meant that we've needed to grow substantially.
We have to
Sorry.
We now have like
Overall, I think we've
abilities
done
and stuff
incredibly
for
well as a
Sojo.
team moving to work from home.
That's really cool.
Oh, shadow play. There have definitely been challenges, but the team is really putting everything
Already
we've
in the
got behind this
intro,
game.
and we have
To me,
huge
it's the next
announcement.
big step in the Overwatch universe. New heroes, game
Yeah,
modes,
those are gone.
major story
Capture the
beats.
flag on Paris.
Competitive and PvE, I see Overwatch 2 as the Overwatch for
Okay.
all of my friends.
You know, we're always inspired by what story and franchise development does with the animated shorts. We really
Interlocking
wanted to bring that
shields.
cinematic experience into the game.
You can invest in your heroes and grow them over time. I'm
Yeah,
super
we have,
geeked out about
Soldier
Overwatch
Path.
2.
I can't wait for people to play this game. It just gets better and better.
There are some things that we
Okay,
just
so it
can't
looks like
do
golden
without a
weapons
sequel.
carry through, which is good because I want my golden weapon.
So thank you so much for your patience so far, and I hope you enjoy this behind-the-scenes look at Overwatch 2.
PvP. New maps and role updates.
All of our players at home, they want to see one of the new maps that we've never talked about before.
Yes, please.
Really? I can just talk about anything that I want to.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you're
guess it's,
serving this up to the guy that is like unintentionally
I think
leaked
it's gonna be
information in past
like
interviews.
map in Sweden. It's gonna be like
We
Stockholm.
can do it officially now.
That's
Okay.
my guess.
So, one of the maps that I'm most excited for in Overwatch 2 is our Rome map.
Rome. I know it's gonna be something European.
We always want Overwatch
So
to
they
feel
don't have
like this
enough European
globe-trotting
ones.
adventure for our players. So we're having a lot of fun coming up with the
But
Overwatch
Rome,
version of Rome.
that does look
We
pretty
wanted
cool.
a very romantic, sort of this powerful feeling of old
it
world
looks like it's going
architecture.
to be either escort
One of the
or
most exciting things for me
Okay, that
is the
kinda looks
early
like push.
building of these maps.
Yeah, I
where we
think
get to
it-
sit down
I
together
think
with
it's push,
key people from the
which
environment
is a
team,
new game
level
mode coming
designers,
with Overwatch
effects
2.
groups. We'll spend some time talking about
It's either
moments in the
push
game that we
or
really want to
payload.
see, like the Colosseum or a grand view of the hills of Rome in the backdrop. And then we'll go back and do a paint over, or we'll do a concept painting of certain things based on that.
We try to draw inspiration from as many different sources as possible. For example, one of our environment artists had just taken a trip to Rome, and he returned with thousands of pictures and was so excited to work on a map set in Italy.
There's a lot of ancient architecture in Rome that represents the empire that it used to be. So we brought some of that back. Some of the things that are destroyed in real life, we kind of rebuilt in a kind of an Overwatch style.
It's one of the most beautiful pieces
There's
of
going to be
environment
a
art that I
spawn
think we've
in the
made
Colosseum.
for the entire
That's
game,
pretty cool.
and it just absolutely took my breath away.
So it looks like there's a spawn
Can we
inside the
reveal more
Colosseum.
maps?
Yes, Scott.
Come on, give us Stockholm.
Scott, why don't you have the honor? Why don't you
Give us
reveal,
Stockholm.
like, is there an artified, like, let's pick an artified one.
I know what map I want to talk about. It's the one that I just get super excited about. New York City.
Oh,
New
they're
York
doing
City
New York.
is just an
I know
amazing
that
Overwatch location.
the NYXL
We're
we're
really
talking a lot about how they
to make
wanted
it as
this
authentic as
on
possible
Twitter.
while still putting this Overwatch spin on it.
Like,
There's a lot of amazing
NYXL are
buildings
gonna have
and
a
architecture
stroke on
pieces
Twitter
that
right
just,
now.
especially for artists, stands out a lot, and they usually use this kind of Art Deco style from the 1920s, 1950s.
We started in an area that's a little bit like
I mean,
the
I do
Village.
think
There's
New
some
York
smaller shops there.
is a good
There's
idea, but I
fire
do think they're
station,
adding way too
little
many
pizza
American
places and
maps.
things that people that are familiar with New York City will either
Maybe they should have
recognize
done an
or
Iceland
maybe
map
see the
based around
reference that
the,
we're trying to make
Overwatch
with some
base
of our
that got
different
blown up.
locations. It feels like something
I think
you
that'd
haven't
be
seen in
cool.
other games before because it's uniquely Overwatch.
Well, we should move on. Otherwise, we just have to reveal more maps. So
Yeah, please reveal
we were
more
talking
maps.
about PvP, and
PvP.
you know, one thing that I think is really interesting about PvP in Overwatch 2 is some of the philosophical changes we're
What, you
making
can
to
no
the
longer kill
approach.
children.
PvP feels different and new. We're upgrading our combat feel. The roles are playing differently. When it comes to all new maps, it's a
Diva
pretty
is
big
now OP
departure
because you can't kill
from
children
where we
anymore.
are on live right now. So I can't wait to see where we end up with it by the time we launch this thing.
More philosophical PvP.
We're also experimenting with the idea we call role passives.
which are passive abilities that a hero can have based on what role they are. For example, currently in our internal builds, the tank heroes all have knockback reduction against them, and they also generate less ultimate charge for enemies that are shooting at them. Damage dealing heroes have a movement speed bonus, which is great for flanking around the map. And
no
healing
idea how
heroes,
disappointing
support
that
heroes
is.
have automatic healing that kicks in after they haven't taken damage for a while. Very similar to
Friggin'
Mercy's passive, but a little bit of a lower rate.
Tanks
One of the
have
more shocking changes
knockback
that we've
reduction.
been
That's
exploring
so,
in
I hate
Overwatch
it.
2 PvP
That's
is a
gonna
change to the
make,
tank role entirely. That's
having fun
applied
with
to all of
Lucio
the tanks.
way
We
harder.
want to try to make them
Like,
more
first they just did
toe-to-toe
it with
brawlers
Reinhardt,
and
now
less
it's like all of them.
characters that just stand back and protect other people.
So, for example, for Reinhardt, we've given him 2 charges of Fire Strike, so he can throw Fire Strikes a lot more aggressively.
Ooh,
and
that's
more
actually
often.
pretty cool.
Also, his charge, he's able to cancel it now, and you can steer
You
it
can
more
cancel charge
aggressively,
now.
So you can,
Perfect.
not
I
quite
love
turn
it.
a corner, but
I
you can
love it.
definitely more accurately pin targets. And because you can cancel it, it allows you to use it much more aggressively and, really go after those key targets without feeling like you're going to sacrifice, all of your positioning, everything to get there.
Yo,
He's almost more terrifying
that's
now with
actually
his
sick.
be able to unleash his full arsenal more often than kind of just being the guy with a shield.
The changes to Reinhardt that we're trying, and they might not ship, that's just the reality, but the changes that we're trying right now are to try to embrace more of that instinct that players have
Because
when
I
they
play
want
a
to
really
play a big,
aggressive
burly
Reinhardt,
character that
so
looks
that will help a lot.
aggressive and feels like it should be aggressive.
Combat upgrades.
Shortly after BlizzCon, we spun up this group, our combat field group, to really just work
To
on
punch people.
what happens when a player holds the trigger.
We're putting a ton of effort into looking at all of our characters and trying to give them even a more visceral weapon feel.
From sound to VFX to animation to the design of these units, all new sounds for a lot of our weapons in the game, and a whole new sound system that's driving it. And we didn't just level up a unit, we leveled up the rest of the game.
When
Yo,
first
we have
started working on
Sojourn
Overwatch,
ability
we
use.
spent quite a bit of time working on gunfire sounds and just general combat feel to make it feel really awesome. We're revisiting pretty much everything. Nothing's off the table, so we're looking at even kind of small things such as quick melee attacks that every hero has. So they have kind of new audio pass and a new kind of feel and visual effect when you hit things.
One of the bigger efforts we're undertaking for Overwatch 2 is what we're calling our Weapon 2.0 Sound Pass. What this is a big overhaul to the weapon systems in the game. That means the way the gun feels in your hands.
Oh, Bastion
You
growth.
could feel the ammo running out as you're getting lower on the clip. We've really tried to amplify those sounds to better
Bastion's
encapsulate
wearing
the
a hat
gameplay
now?
and the gunplay that comes with Overwatch 2. Another key for the weapons was getting them to feel like they're in the environment. This meant working with convolution reverb. It's a new system that we've implemented into Overwatch. It's a way that we can capture the acoustics of an environment and transport it onto the sounds that we're using. So we went and captured tales of guns in different environments through our weapon shoots. And then we've cut them and applied it so that we can support a lot more environments. Now we're supporting outdoor, urban outdoor, warehouse tales, tight tunnels, small rooms, and it gives a lot more presence to the weapons and the way that they react in the world.
The shooter genre has evolved a lot since Overwatch 1 came out. On top of that, I think we really want to push the visceral nature of how we do combat. So we focused a lot, not just on the wonderful sound effects, but also with how the gun moves as you shoot. So you can really feel every single shot leaving the chamber. And there's a lot of subtle little tweaks we have to do on the gameplay engineering side to make that feel really visceral. Everything from making sure that the camera shakes are crisp, making sure that if you get shot, you know exactly these tight indicators show up on the outside of your reticle. All these things play into making the game feel not just tight and responsive, but also modern and up to date. Take 76, for example. What we wanted to do in Overwatch 2 with his weapon was make it really feel incredibly powerful, and that happens with a bunch of different elements that mix together. But it really feels like the gun is almost just outside of your control. A lot of that comes down to this camera shake technology, where every time you fire the weapon, You want to feel like it's running through your entire body, and the camera shake gives that extra bite to every single shot out of the chamber. It makes him feel really great.
You guys got a sneak peek of Sojourn from last BlizzCon. She's been under development for quite a while, and she's actually quickly at this point become a lot of people's favorites in-house. When we look back at Overwatch when it was originally created, there was a lot of heroes that were made from a gameplay standpoint kind of surrounding a weapon type. For example, Pharah was based on a rocket launcher hero. Widowmaker is clearly like kind of the sniper. We thought there was a weapon that was kind of missing that would be a lot of fun to play with, and that's a railgun. It's so much fun in the playtest to have this really powerful shot that can, rip through enemies if you really are accurate with it. And she's all about that aim skill. So
it's just
if you got that aim
Widowmaker
skill, you'll
without
love her.
scope. Okay, good to know.
We're still exploring new game modes, and we're also reevaluating older game modes that people are more critical of. We're of the mindset
2CP.
maybe 2CP doesn't exist in Overwatch 2, and maybe there's
They're deleting
a new
2CP.
cool game mode that replaces it. We really want Overwatch 2 to feel like the next evolution,
deleting
a true
2CP.
sequel to the first game, not an add-on. It's not a small part. It's not an extension of the original game.
Like,
this
the
is
problem with
an
2CP
evolution and a
is
replacement
that
to the original
you
game.
essentially
And I think
win
it's
2
exciting.
fights and you win. That's it.
Hero missions
So you can't
are
fix the
probably
game
one of
mode
the things
because the
that's
game
the
mode is
hardest to
fundamentally
wrap your
flawed.
head around if you've never played one of them.
The goal around
Okay.
hero missions is for these to be
So there's
this
presumably
co-op
going to be like a
PvE
lore
experience.
one.
I personally only
and,
play competitive mode. Like,
like,
I'm all about that competition.
all
And I have
heroes
friends
one.
that they don't want to do that at
Because,
all.
you know,
so I'm really
Ash
looking forward to a
working
game that I
together
can
with
play hours and
Winston
hours with my friends who aren't in competitive.
That's
And it's
not
also
in the
something that
lore.
I'm interested in.
Hero missions are the content that people are playing
Yeah,
as
that's probably
they are
the
leveling up their
retrieval
heroes.
mission,
And so
the one with the
for a
flag.
system like this to really sing,
No,
you need
Ash.
a lot of mission. We don't want
In
players to
Watch
feel like they're just in this
Gibraltar,
grind to
does
get to the top.
not make sense.
And there's a lot of really
Oh, there's
good
a
back-end
Reinhardt's,
technology
like,
that we're exploring,
circular,
so that the heroes are constantly
Earthshatter.
bringing their
Oh, so last
personality
year.
and some light story to these hero missions as well.
The goal is to make as many as possible, hundreds of hero missions. We've explored a lot of different ways of getting to that much content. Still have like different sets of enemy units that people
Have they
will
even
be fighting
shown
against.
Hammond
And there's
once
different
in
hero
this?
mission types.
I feel
At the same time,
underappreciated.
hero missions can
'cause
take
Hammond is
place
the
on
best
all of the
hero in the game.
multiplayer maps that we've done. And we're also adding
Wait, was that a new
spaces
Moira
onto
ability?
some of these maps.
Like big orb. Wait, is that?
It's a huge challenge for the art team. We
Is
take
that
maps that
new,
a lot of
uh,
people love and recognize,
yeah, that's new
and we
King's
have
Row.
to add a lot more art and level design to it.
In this one hero mission playtest, we came up to an area in King's Row that usually has a gate on it. Suddenly that gate opened and I saw a new area of King's Row that I had never seen before.
You may be playing a payload game type, and the payload may decide to take this new route instead of going the usual route.
That was
That's actually
really,
pretty
really
cool.
cool. It was like this eye-opening special moment.
I love this.
Lan, our lead tech artist
They put a
on the
sandstorm
environment
in
side,
Anubis?
very early on
What?
her own free time, made a prototype of a sandstorm on the Temple of Anubis map.
And at the
I thought they
time,
were
we didn't know what
deleting
we wanted to
2CP.
do with that, but it looked awesome.
We looked at it and went,
I mean, they
oh
could
my
very
God,
easily
we
make
absolutely have
Temple
to
of
do this.
Anubis
So we put some
a
new technology in place that allows
a
us
what's
to do this
a,
dynamically. You start the mission
hybrid
off,
map
clear day,
or a
midway
payload
through the
map.
mission,
Either
suddenly
one would
this
work.
sandstorm or heavy weather would show
Wait,
up.
what
It
map
made the
is that?
world just feel so much more alive.
I think that's a
There's
new
a sunset,
snow
daytime,
Hanamura.
nighttime, but
Okay,
depending
that's
on where you are in
Mumbai.
the world, these look different. California or Hollywood would have what we call a California sun. In New Bonnie, there's a great African sun that happens there. You start to get a sense of space and mood. This
Oh,
is what
Paris is
really
just
brings the
raining.
levels to life.
For me, the
Oh,
dynamic
that-
world's
that
exciting.
Dorado
Just
looks
seeing
really
these
good.
dramatic landscapes, the wind
That-
and the atmosphere
oh, it's
blowing by.
Toronto.
It's a
Maybe
much
it's
more
an extension of
cinematic
Toronto then.
experience for the player.
Before you
that's
start
Toronto.
a mission, you look at a map.
Tourbillon?
It's nighttime in Necropolis, or there's a sandstorm in Necropolis. Players can make some comp choices based on knowing
Yo,
this
the
information.
upgrading
Characters like
Necropolis?
Hanzo or Widowmaker start to be a little more valuable because they have abilities that allow them to see through
There's
the
stuff
sand
on
more
Necropolis
clearly.
now. pretty cool.
Are we gonna talk about any of the types of objectives in hero missions?
Yeah, let's talk about the objectives. Players are being asked to do different things from one hero mission to the next so that they all feel really fresh to the player.
For example, we have Gather and Return, where you're trying to go and grab these different canisters to kind of safeguard them so they don't go off and affect the population in a negative way. It creates this really cool tension in the world where on the one hand you're trying to split up and go grab all these canisters to be as efficient as possible, but at the same time now you're having these sort of special enemy units spawn that are really difficult, and if you kind of get caught by yourself, it turns into a pretty bad situation really quickly. And it feels extremely cooperative and like a very different way to interact with the Overwatch universe.
We're experimenting with all sorts of ideas, and just internally we have games like
missions
Wall
on
of Death,
Blizzard
Scavenger
World
Hunt,
make
and
sense?
Kill Quest, and
It's
all
just
these
a hypothetical
new
theme
mechanics
park.
and enemies for people to experience. Players will be able to jump in night after night, play different hero missions, and then work through the progression system, leveling up their heroes.
Yeah, like these missions on Blizzard World just doesn't make sense.
At BlizzCon in 2019, we started to talk about progression, and we showed the very early version of our talent system, which I think was really cool. We had that one talent where like Meg became the rolling snowball, which was a big hit. We've really blown that system out.
I'm real excited about talents. You can play the same hero in so many different ways. Now with the skill tree, you can have fun every night doing different things and kind of experimenting.
Yeah, the talent system is like really deep and rich.
Oh,
and
so you can
every
get like
single
different
hero
paths.
has different trees.
That's pretty
you
cool.
might open up 76's tree, and as you're leveling and picking new talents, you're starting to feel your hero change. We've had some pretty
it's
hilarious
like,
versions of
World of
the
Light
healing one where his
stuff.
biotic field travels with him. It also
Oh, that's
repulses
pretty
enemies.
cool.
We called it the snowplow build, where 76 is like running through spaces, pushing enemies away from them.
Designing these is super fun because it's like we get to break all the rules that we've sort of established for ourselves, and we get to really take the gloves off and do crazy things like Junkrat can dual wield grenade launchers, and we've had Mercy be able to area effect res their whole team at once at super long range through walls. It's been a ton of fun, kind of like mad scientists making all this stuff.
Oh, so
You're
old
all used to
Mercy is
using
back.
these kind of kinetic weapons like Soldier 76's rifle or fire attack like what Reinhardt's Flame Strike does. As soon as you start to mutate these things with talents, all of a sudden maybe you're doing freeze damage or electrical damage. But it gives the animators a bunch of crazy opportunities. You know, the animations are going to change to show them freezing and shattering. And if you shock someone with a lightning attack, they can shake in place and stun, maybe chain to other enemies. All sorts of stuff
Yeah, I
to
do
make it
think
feel
a
like you're
Winston
controlling the
stun would
battlefield
make a
in
lot of
novel
sense.
ways.
As a huge RPG nerd
Like, it'd be
myself,
OP
the first time I
if
opened
it
up
was
the
in, like,
talent tree
normal,
systems, it was like, oh my gosh,
66
this is
PvP.
speaking my love language.
That'd
Like,
be
I just
insane.
want to plan, and I want to see, like, where do I want to invest, and how am I going to play this character?
Yes, it's so great. And you start at the bottom of the tree. Like,
Yes,
oh my,
exactly.
Like Tracer gets to do what?
Yeah.
And then you start working and kind of planning how you're gonna get down there. It's like, it's so fun.
When we look back at BlizzCon 2019 and we talk about some of the criticisms that we had, one of them as a development team that we felt was that the combat was just not engaging enough. So the fact that our combat wasn't highly engaging to us as players meant that we had a problem with the enemy units and that they just weren't feeling interesting enough.
Just because we show something to the public, it doesn't mean that that is what it's going to be. If we make discoveries where things aren't working how we want, they're not reading how we want, they're not fun enough, we're totally down to reinvestigate, reiterate, and just really find ways to level kind of all aspects of things until they feel good.
I would say a major focus of all of 2020 was to make the null sector enemy units more engaging. And some of this was adding new units and evolving other units that we had.
Interesting combat for us is varied combat for us. So sometimes we're going to ask you to protect something in Overwatch 2. Sometimes we're just going to ask you to get someplace. Sometimes we might ask you to escort something across a map while it's being attacked. And so it's a different type of spawning, and it's a different type of units that are in there, and it's a simpler objective.
There's a lot of units Aaron is talking about. Lots of different units, lots of different types. They serve different purposes. You do different things to them. It's really going to help a lot of us find the fun and make sure that Overwatch 2 is a blast.
One of those sets of enemies is what we internally call objective units. And they're typically units that don't even attack players.
The first
the simplest
hour of
version
BlizzCon,
would be something
fairly
like the
disappointing.
Breacher.
Then the animation was pretty funny. Then all of this information is pretty
slowly
cool.
and methodically march towards its objective, and then it transforms, and the bomb opens up like a flower, starts spinning and charging up, and you hear
that's
this
a pretty
awesome
cool
sound,
upgrade
and
to
you
the
know you
old
have a little bit of
null
time before it's going to
sector
explode and you have to
kamikaze
take
bot.
it out.
We have units like the slicers, which you guys have seen before. They're little, we call them the chickens, little chicken sleds. They're really fast. You know, we have a guy we're experimenting with right now who flies and drops these bombs that create these kind of ever-expanding smoke fields that you have to escape from, but because they're super deadly. So you really get to use your mobility options to kind of escape that.
There's things like the polar. You could be moving through these darker alleys, and as soon as you hear that polar spawn, it suddenly becomes like really spooky and kind of scary.
This very tall, elegant looking character that's blindfolded, 3 orbs that circle around her as her eyes, and we basically spun those orbs around her head as a big tell, launched them at the player, and then it activates this tractor beam, and it's bringing you in, and then you get this awesome like anticipation of the hair opening up so you know what's about to happen.
One thing we've just recently been experimenting with is this idea of elite units. We didn't want the elite units to feel like they're just, oh, this guy's got double health and double damage. We want to make sure the elite units feel like they have different behaviors and have different attacks. So, for example, an Omnic Grunt, normally he fires his gun, he dies pretty simply.
I mean, I feel like they've already done that
if you
with
fight
the
elite
elite
grunts,
units.
his weapon fires in a burst fire pattern. It's very deadly if you're close.
Old,
and if you manage to take them
brute
out,
units.
they don't just die right away.
They're
They
like-
instead can crawl on the ground
they
towards you,
charge,
and you try to back away because if they get to you, they can explode.
That's pretty unique.
Artillery at BlizzCon, we're all just staring at this, and we're like, what are we gonna do to level this up?
One of the things we really felt wasn't coming through was the damage states. We intend for players to shoot these guns off, but currently it's not reading as something that can happen in the game easily.
We change the design, we change the animation, and we go back and forth and just continually iterate.
We decided, hey, you know what? We're gonna just delete half of these damage states, so now it's super readable.
From an animation standpoint, we decided on the spinning barrel version. Just did this really nice kickback. The tip of the barrel opens up when it's about to fire and shifts into place and boom!
It's really amazing to be fighting an artillery unit and you can see the guns on the side, and as you're shooting the guns, they're actually visibly taking damage, and then you can blow them off and it reacts and kind of stumbles to the side, and really makes you feel like you're there, and it's super fun.
In a lot of the stuff we've showed so far, you're fighting null sector. These are evil killing machines intent on marching you down. The way you're going to stop them is by shooting them, and we want to make sure that feels responsive and visceral. Really making sure that when they take a hit, it feels like their whole body has been punched, almost like hit by a truck. That's what really sells this fantasy that you're playing these superheroes. One of the cool pieces of technology that we created was what we call chain hit reactions. Oftentimes you'll find null sector bunched up, marching maybe a half a dozen units abreast. You expect if you shoot one, they're gonna knock into their buddies. So we make that happen. Turns out it's really fun too.
Well, that's probably a new McCree path. Yo, we finally getting to look at some more
last year
new
at BlizzCon was
looks.
the new looks for our heroes. The
Come on,
theory
give me
kind
a
of
new
going in
Hammond.
was like, you want to preserve the essence of your hero, but also kind of show that that hero's evolved and kind of changed and moved forward. So we have a lot more new looks. So I'm excited to see how players and
I
fans
was
react
very
to all of the ones
disappointed
that
with
we've done
new
so far.
Lucio. Did not
Maybe
like the
we'll
look of
share
him.
some of those new looks today.
For
which would
old
be cool.
Lucio.
We're going to reveal McCree's
Yeah.
new look for Overwatch 2 as well as Pharah, and we're really excited to show off some of our first villains with Reaper and Widowmaker. But first I wanted to talk a little bit about technical wear, kind of like technical clothing. What that really is using very techy fabrics, as well as having very intricate but functional straps designed in a way that it's very aesthetically pleasing. With McCree, we took a couple different approaches. He's got this classic cowboy look that it's really hard to mess with because if you try to make him too
I mean, they
sophisticated
just
or
replaced
too
his,
techy,
like,
it might not feel right for the
cloth
character. But
with,
as a concept
like,
artist, you always want to change
futuristic
things
leather.
around and try different shapes and silhouettes. So we did identify as Red Serape as the main thing for McCree. We also tried a couple different things with McCree's cowboy
that's
hat.
the only
We didn't really want to mess
noticeable
with that too
difference.
much because that's a very iconic part of him. So that's another piece that we kept. We tried some retro cowboy looks that mixed in some tech here and there. Some that were a little bit more techy than others, some that were a little bit more classic cowboy. We gave him a little bit of a longer beard, and it really gives him a nice kind of like a more aged
I feel
look.
like they're giving everyone a
What's
longer
different
beard.
about Farah than some of our other heroes is
new
Farah's
Farah.
completely covered in armor. We didn't want to change her silhouette too much. It was more about experimenting
they
on
just
different
changed the
colors.
colours a bit.
So it felt really appropriate for her to be the one to harken back to those original
I mean,
Overwatch
it still looks
colors
kind of cool,
of white and
to
blue.
be honest.
One of the things that we wanted to update on Farah was her visor. Instead of being completely opaque and reflective, we tried a little bit more of a transparent approach, and being able to see through it a little bit now allows us to see some more of her emotions. Reaper was actually the ones I was very excited to work on because I could see a lot of potential in how we can integrate his cloak and his cowl and his armor and how we can make all those shapes really sing within that
I don't
classic,
think I'm a fan of the
Reaper
like
silhouette. We tried a
Reaper
couple takes
trench
for the
coat.
first pass, like completely silver arms, more layers to his jacket. Reaper's mask is obviously pretty sacred to us, but the thing you'll notice immediately is that it's now completely silver. Instead of the bone white, he's got this like almost like deadly edgy silver that just gives him that classic Reaper look.
Yeah, I'm
With
not a fan of the
Widowmaker,
trench
we
coat.
started with the idea stage, exploring a breadth of ideas. We tried things like a more insectoid approach, treasure hunter. One of them made her feel like a classic Bond villain, so we kind of steered it back towards one of the more cyberpunk-looking ones, almost
don't
like a
think I like the
futuristic
braid.
femme fatale, which is basically what Widowmaker is, but she even
Like,
feels more upgraded.
it's all
So I'm
good
super
except
glad
for
that
the
we went
braid.
down this route. We played with different hairstyles too. Widowmaker has the really long ponytail that's really key part of her look. And we really liked the hairstyle on one of the designs that was more of a braid, and it was really interesting look that also preserves Widowmaker's original silhouette with that long ponytail.
We've been working a lot with our domino engine and making our cloth look better. Now that we have this cloth tech, we're going to be able to make some really cool, unique silhouettes that will help them stand out from other heroes. We put a lot of time and effort into our face rig, and what I mean by that is we're going to be able to get really close to these characters, and it's going to feel really cool. It is absolutely worth the time and the effort to invest in the technology, and that way we can make these characters do more things that we haven't really been able to do before.
It's been super exciting working on the new looks for Overwatch 2, and it's just been so inspiring to watch the team try things that we've never tried before, and I just can't wait to show off more in the future.
Overwatch 2
pretty sure this is
is
supposed to be
probably
ending
the largest opportunity
Either
we've
that or I
had
read
since
this
the
one.
inception of the franchise to
Yeah, I
really
did. It ends
expand
at,
what Overwatch
+2.
even means to our players. In 0 Hour, we saw that some of the heroes got
okay,
back
story isn't that
together,
important,
but we're
and
also
I,
seeing that there seems
need
to
to
be
leave.
a second huge Omnic uprising. We're going to learn who's behind that uprising, why that's happening, how globally spread is it.
The story and franchise development group, they were really the torchbearers of what the big story is that we were going to tell for this game.
We have a lot of interaction with them. They're working on in-game cinematic intros and outros for every one of our story missions.
It's been really great to see this collaboration grow and develop. The story is just a little more integrated into our missions than it ever really has been before. All the available heroes get dialogue for a given mission. We have NPCs, we have multiple hero choices.
We have all sorts of events that are happening that are driving players to
Yeah, okay,
interact
there we go.
with each other
Back.
or parts of the environment
Anything
or other
important happen?
characters.
The world of Overwatch is this bright, shiny future. So how do you take that bright, shiny future and create conflict in it? How dark can the world of Overwatch go?
The different challenges that these characters are going to have to overcome in Overwatch 2 are things that they haven't ever dealt with before or dealt with on this scale. So what we had to do was literally strip it down to this bare bones of where are these characters in their lives. Overwatch has been disbanded, and now there's a situation where the world's in trouble again, and the world needs the heroes again, but they're not allowed to be doing what they were supposed to be doing.
We started to book these off-site locations so we could brainstorm over and over different versions of what the Overwatch 2 story campaign could be.
And we basically had these whiteboards that we were carting around everywhere.
The room was filled with whiteboards, and we would just write every day story beats with the characters and who was doing what and where. And oh my gosh, we forgot this character.
We had these giant sticky notes, and each one of them would be a mission with a bunch of notes on it. You know, somebody say, well, what if we moved Rio to the end, and they'd physically grab it off the wall and stick it on the end.
And we did this for a while, you know, until we all felt that it was pretty close to what we wanted.
Then we could send it to our writers' rooms. The writers' rooms then had a much clearer direction of where we wanted this process to go.
Ultimately, we come up with something that we think is right for the game, and then we pitch it back to the game team, and they point out everything that we missed.
And that allows us to actually back up and go and make it right and make it better.
Because the scale of this story is so huge, it takes place over the whole world, basically. It just requires a constant iteration, constant refinement to make the story as best as we can make it.
From writing, we go to storyboards. The storyboards get crafted with the edit. From there, it'll go to a previs department where they'll start to flesh it out in 3D. Once we've kind of figured out our camera work and our cinematography, that'll then go to the animation department. And then we end up going right into the game engine.
One of our challenges was to figure out how to integrate this story and this narrative with the gameplay.
So if the intro cinematic ends with this huge battle, this huge war, when you get into the game, it has to mesh and feel the exact same way and blend together.
We really are also trying to get the music to be equally as consistent from in-game cinematics straight through to the mission. Adam Burgess, our lead composer, has been working with the IGC team, with the game team, developing themes for all of the heroes, all of the locations.
As the cinematic director, whatever we're crafting should never override the gameplay. We want to make sure that the player's experience going from the cinematic to the gameplay is seamless and it feels like a completely immersive experience.
The engineers, we have to find a way to actually make that come to fruition. The choreo tool is a tool that allows people to coordinate different events to happen at the same time. Like in Rio, if you played our demo, one of the buildings explodes. And so that kind of event needs to happen as you're running by, and you need to have it timed, because if it blows up too early, then you don't see it. It allows story moments in missions that interact with the environment, that interact with our characters.
The new tech, the new abilities that we have now are allowing us to push our storytelling farther than we could have previously.
What's also really powerful about choreo is that, you know, if somebody has an idea, they can mock things up really quickly.
We got to show the Widowmaker making this awesome introduction. Casey was able to quickly put a really rough prototype in choreo. And Philip would come in and on the fly, he's making quick changes. They play tested something that would normally take weeks. It was done in like a matter of days.
Each story mission
that
has
looks like
its
a new,
own custom
Nepal.
map built for it, and these
Yeah.
maps are absolutely gigantic.
This would be like
India's one of our biggest maps,
Nepal
and it's a fun
temple or
map because it
something.
has a few story beats that we've taken from recent comics
Right.
and characters in the
It's like
game.
India.
We've
Why is it
written
India?
a history for
These,
each city so that
monks
the
are from
cities feel
Nepal.
lived in. And I think that informs the artists so that they know like what it is that the city has been through.
Gothenburg was our chance to show Torbjorn's workshop. We created a space that kind of fits his height. So there's, step ladders and scalable tables. We designed the space as if we were Torbjorn. Molten steel is pouring out of walls. It's pretty epic when you walk into it. Toronto was under siege by Null Sector when the players arrive here. There's a dynamic snowstorm. So as you make your way through the level, the snow is slowly building up. Suddenly by the end, the characters are caught in this gigantic snowstorm and they must fight their way through.
In Overwatch 2, we want to give you choice to be able to play this character or that character. So we're designing a lot of systems around how their relationships develop over the course of the story missions in the campaign.
We have a cast of many characters all on screen, all at the same time, and it's fantastic to actually see them all interacting and working together in ways that we've never actually seen. We've always thought about it and hoped for it, but now it's actually happening.
It actually requires us to have a whole new branching dialogue system. If you happen to have Genji and Mercy in the second mission of the game, you might get different dialogue that's about their relationship.
Our voice actors bring the characters to life in ways that everybody has fallen in love with, from inside Blizzard to the fans. Just to hear this collection of actors all together, all interacting, has been a real treat.
I wish people could see how many people are involved when it comes to something like telling the story of Overwatch. It doesn't just come from a singular person, it comes from a group, and it's a really talented, fun group that all works together.
We've been developing what we hope is one of the best stories ever. There's some key story moments that I'm really excited about, and I really can't wait to see how people react to it.
Wait, is that Maximilian getting... Wait, so does Maximilian get attacked by Null Sector?
We've
That's
been
actually
talking
huge.
about the game, about this universe. I know you all love it so much.
Right
That
now,
actually
we can
says
sit down
something.
and have a night of Overwatch 2 and have it be a really fun experience. And I think we need some more time till we can say it's perfectly
actually
polished in the way
interesting.
that we want it.
We've made such incredible strides since we first announced this and showed it to the community at BlizzCon in 2019.
The thing that I'm most excited about is that moment when we hand the game over to the players.
We want to create something that really moves people, really touches people.
That's why we do it. We create the game because we want it to become part of your life and for you to experience it.
For Overwatch 2, we're upping the bar.
It's kind of 5 games in one. It's a huge undertaking.
The new tech and the new aesthetics for the new looks bring you closer to the characters that you love, and we're just getting started.
The fidelity of the gameplay experience is much richer.
We are making cinematics that push the boundary of what we can do to tell stories.
We want this dynamic world. We want things to feel alive.
I'm really looking forward to being able to expand the world of Overwatch for our players.
We're really trying to tell this epic story.
In order to make a game great, it takes time, energy, collaboration.
We have just an incredibly professional team of designers and artists and engineers.
We just love bringing this world to you guys. So many cool characters. It's just a blast working on it.
Our goal is for Overwatch 2 to be the worthy successor to the first game, to be the next evolution, and to be a true sequel.
We have big plans, so thank you for sticking with us.
We're gonna cross the finish line, and I know it's gonna be awesome.
I hope people just end up loving playing it over and over.
That's what we want to try and capture. I'm jumping in, I'm playing, let's go be heroes.
Yet we still don't have a release date.
Dolby is a proud partner of BlizzCon Online. Watch Shock vs. the World in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, only in the Dolby Access app.
Sorry.
Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of BlizzCon Online.
Who's ready for some fireworks?
Are they just advertising the New Year's event, which is almost over already? The event is already almost over.
Rally at my position. I feel unstoppable.
The best gets better. Let me show you how it's done.
Turning up the heat. I'm ready. Give me your best shot.
새해 복 많이 받으세요.
Yeah, we're already like well into week 3.
You can't catch me.
I've got you in my sights.
Now we're moving.
Yeah, I played one game of Bounty Hunter, And I won.
Lights out.
Somehow.
I've still got it.
Yeah, it literally ends in 6 days. Oh, that's a pretty cool mercy thing. And there's the arcade collection again. I really need a drink, but I do not want to miss any of this. Plus, this is the best panel every year. Wait, does this mean Sigma voice actor is here again?
Hello and welcome to BlizzCon Line. My name is Andrea Toyas. I'm the Senior Casting and Voice Director at Blizzard. It's my great honor and privilege to be charged with finding all the great voices for your favorite games and bringing them to life in the studio. And today, I'm losing my mind with joy because I'm in shock that we get to do yet another voice actor panel, Voices of Overwatch, featuring our beloved characters from our most beloved game. I know it's crazy times, I know it's uncertain and scary and hard, but just know that we at Blizzard and all of our actors and people that we work with think of you and love you every day, and I know that you know that I mean that.
I think they'll have the
So here we are now with Voices of Overwatch. And on top of that, I want to tell you something else because I feel like I have to talk about this. Look what they've, can you see? I hope the camera gets what they've done. The books, the plants, the table, those are the exact chairs I wanted, the exact rug. There's ancient scrolls. There's a fireplace. They love you so much and believe in us and this voice actor panel so much they did this. So I just want to give mad gratitude and love to the BlizzCon events team because they did this. They gave us this space and they're giving us this time because they know that without you, those of you who care about the voice actor panels, none of us would be here. So I love you. Thank you for joining. I hope you have a great panel. We've got a great show ahead. And welcome to the Voices of Overwatch voice actor panel for BlizzCon Line.
I think that's the Reinhardt one. I think that's the Diva
I wish
one.
you were all here right now because I can literally, I've got chills. To look around the room and see these people here, it just seems like a dream. This is not going to feel real till we go home tonight. It's not going to feel real. And you guys, usually I like to do my big surprise who's behind door number one, but unless they walk through the library, that wasn't going to work. So here's the grand reveal of all of our wonderful participants. So I think you know everybody on this stage, but let me go through introductions
I think it's both
just to kind of get us all on the same page. So of course, we could not have an Overwatch panel without the mayor of BlizzCon himself, Lord Darren DePaul, also known as Reinhardt. There we go. Yep. You at home, you got to clap.
Yeah. I don't have it. I would hit a cameraman if I threw candy. It's not happening.
I know.
Hi, I'm Darren.
Yay!
Yeah, he throws.
That's right. I forgot to say you guys have to clap for us because usually you're right in front of me with your big smiling faces, but you're not here, so you got to promise me that you're clapping at home, please. Yeah, and then, of course, we have to have our beloved dad. We have to have Soldier 76, also known as Fred Tatasciore.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Oh, my.
And really glad that you let me use my apartment. Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. And then, of course, our beloved power female, totally kick-ass and wonderful in the game, our delicious diva, also known as Charlotte Chung. Yay!
Yep. There's Diva.
Oh, my God, I love it. And then, if I had my way, I'd have the whole cast on this stage. It's so, every year I want you to know, having to work with the Overwatch team and choose is so difficult. But we just had to get the ones we love them all, but this is who we ended up with. And we've got our fabulous, I don't really think you guys have heard of Matt Mercer before. He's new.
Oh, it's Matt Mercer.
So I want to introduce you to Matt Mercer for the first time, also known as McCree.
I called it. Looks like he's grown out a beard since I last saw him.
Soldier Dad's apartment.
I love it.
Anytime, son.
And then we also really wanted to bring somebody new in to share our love with you and share our love of her. So I'm so excited, so honored and privileged to introduce you to Jeannie Bollet, who plays Echo. So Jeannie,
welcome.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Yes. And I know you can't see our fans, but
so
everybody,
I called,
this is BlizzCon. These are our fans. Let's just pretend they're out there and say we love you.
3 out of 5.
Yes.
So, you know.
As as you know, I always love to have somebody from the
30
team, so I'm
to
really
32
honored
euros.
and delighted to bring somebody to you from the Overwatch team, the creative director, Jeff Chamberlain. So this is Jeff Chamberlain. Jeff, everybody. Yes. And Jeff, you and I never talked about this, but I'm so excited. I never tell you this. I need to tell you I love you more, Jeff. But because Jeff and I worked together for so long, I remember you and I in early StarCraft 2 sessions together. I mean, we go way back. We're OGs together. So it's always really cool to work with Jeff and have him join us. So thanks, Jeff.
My pleasure. It's always fun to, get into the recording booth with you and figure these characters out.
I can't tell if he's actually,
and Jeff would love to be here, but like
in
all of us, he's got to
front
stay
of an
extra
Overwatch
safe for his
thing,
family. Otherwise, he'd be sitting on my lap
or
right
he's
now,
in
right,
front
Jeff?
of
I
a
think he'd be
green
cuddling,
screen.
probably. Or I'd be, one of those. So I'm really, there's so much I want to
Hope
talk
they,
about. I wish we had
swapped
all
voice
day. We
lines
don't.
like
So I
last
just
year,
want
'cause that was very
to, my goal,
entertaining.
as I said earlier in the monologue, is to have you in my living room. So the first thing I want to talk about is, how's everybody doing? It's been a tough year. It's been crazy. And I just want to ask everybody, we can go in rotation or talk together. I had a tough year. I'm doing great now. Anytime I get to be with you, I'm great. How's everybody? How you doing? Tell me about how you've been since we last saw you.
I'm fine.
I feel like you're always fine. I can't.
Well, you've got to stay joyful. I mean,
know.
this has been a time of distance, and yet we still find our connections where we can, whether it's online or just passing someone on the street and waving from a distance. It's sharing our hearts, and that's what I love about what we've created here. And every year we come back to it and add more people that we adore and say, welcome, it's nothing but joy. Welcome to our little world of yes.
I love that. So Darren, how have you been getting by? Like, do you get, I'm sure you get sad, but how do you just joy and gratitude and?
Yeah, we moved to a new house.
Congratulations.
It's like our first adult house ever. But we have an office and we record, and very, very lucky, knock on everything. Work keeps going, and that keeps you going. A lot of our friends in the Broadway community have not been working. We lost someone from a show a long time ago yesterday. So we've been losing a lot of our people. And I think you go back to what brings you comfort, and it's spending Zoom calls with those people. It's listening to Leon Redbone and David Byrne and Buster Poindexter, and going back to what I did in college when I had no friends. But it's that reaching for things. Did I play Diablo 3 a lot in the beginning? Yeah.
Yes.
Because that world was the world I liked to run around in and visit little shopkeepers that would go, I will survive if you buy something. And I never buy anything. So there's a little guilt there.
I love it.
But you know me, I'm just a big mouth stupid.
I love it. And I got to give a shout out. Look at Darren. Even in a pandemic, he's dressed just impeccably.
Always.
Always. And we found out they make
It's Photoshop.
It's Photoshop. I actually think it's pajamas. We found out there's onesies that are suit onesies, you said?
Yeah, pajamas.
We need to get a Kickstarter and buy him a whole wardrobe of suit
We got you
onesies.
covered.
Yes.
Yay!
You'll look amazing. It's going to be a BlizzCon Overwatch sleepover next time.
Yeah.
Yes.
You always have a bow tie on. Why did you pick the tie?
I changed it up.
Oh.
I had some bow ties earlier, and then I did ties and liked them. My sister has a store, and I call her. She has a high-end men's store, and I'll call her and I'll say, hey, I want this, and I order it, and that's my way of helping her out because business has been rough, and I'm like, give me this.
Is this in New York? Or?
No, she moved to San Antonio, Texas, and she's been in Texas for a long time. My parents had moved. Those are sad stories that we do not like to get into about stuff. But it's still having that connection. My father was a clothing designer.
That's right.
And, the Reinhardt voice is kind of him. And
That's right.
So he would like it. He'd go, you look good.
You, you look amazing.
Yes,
You
but bow
always...
ties are good on you as well.
It's so hard not to just bite your face and hug you. I just want to bite you so bad. All of
Many
you.
people say that.
Yeah, it's true. Well, how's everybody else? How's everybody doing?
Doing all right.
Hanging in.
Yeah. We're very, very lucky to be able to keep doing this.
Yes.
I've got a toddler. I've been quarantined with a toddler.
Zemo.
He's amazing. Yeah, my little guy, and my wife and I have been having actually a really good time. I mean, it's a handful, but it's been so great to just be able to get out of the recording booth and then just play with him, as opposed to 2 hours of traffic. Not complaining about traffic, just saying it's really a blessing. I mean, I hate what's happening to the world, with the virus and the economic thing and just everything that's happened. But it's been a real blessing to be at home actually, because I've lived out of my car for so long. And so this has been really nice. I like being at home, growing food, and just it's been a real blessing. And like you, getting into all the stuff that was a passion for me early on. Any kind of music or films or art.
What was your favorite? What are you listening?
Well, I love the David Byrne stuff that you're talking about. But yeah, but there's
American Utopia.
Yeah, all of that.
So good.
But there's just so many things. So it's been a blessing.
Yeah. I miss seeing you at the gym.
I know. I miss it. We both lived downtown, and we would catch each other at the Y. It was very, very cool.
Wow, Soldier 76 and Reinhardt working out?
Yeah, we're actually working out at the Y.
Because I want to go there whenever this
we did. I used to live around the corner from
Wow.
Yeah. So there's always this little world of
And I would see him walking down the street to the gym.
Wow.
With his gym bag.
3 Overwatch characters all living
in this
close.
one little area. I know, it's pretty funny. Yeah.
Tell me what the interaction was like between Soldier 76 and Reinhardt at the gym.
Hey, how are you?
I'm going to pump you up. That was a line another German said.
I'll let you to it. I'm going to hit the pool. All right.
Don't hit it too hard. That was a joke.
No, I get it. Very good.
I hope that exact scene happened.
Pretty much.
It did before they threw us out.
Oh my gosh. Well, to Fred's point, I think kids keep you really grounded. I don't have kids, I got pets which are like my kids,
Beautiful
but kids
pets.
keep you centered though, right?
Yeah, so do pets.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, they do. Actually, they do, and it's and you'll be
Yes.
hearing from this one here. Yeah, it's amazing to try to just have the time to dial in to his thinking and to what he's playing, and and seeing this personality and this body just forming right in front of your eyes. It's just astounding. It really is. It's one of the best things, and most challenging too.
Yes.
But it's a happy challenge.
Yes. And I think it reminds us that nothing else matters, I would imagine, with your child. It's talking about forming humans, Charlotte. Charlotte's formed some humans. Tell us,
Need a
Charlotte.
baby diva.
Yes. Tell us.
So.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride, and going through all of that through the pandemic has been an interesting kind of situation, but a really blessed one because, like Fred said, we have been able to spend a lot of time with our kids. But this is sort of a full circle moment for me because 5 years ago at the very first Overwatch panel for BLIZZCON, I was here with these lovely gentlemen, and it was, you're telling us to be real.
Absolutely,
so
Mama.
I'm sharing something that I kind of shared on social media, but I had lost a baby 2 weeks before BLIZZCON. I had a miscarriage as my first pregnancy, and then you look back and you go, at the time things don't make sense, but it does in hindsight. And when I look back and knowing that then I had gotten, sort of rushed into this world of Overwatch and the fans and BLIZZCON, and how much it changed my life since then, it all sort of makes sense, the timing of life and whatnot. But I came in with a lot of sadness actually at that BLIZZCON, but then having met you all, that really just changed my life and in so many ways. I got sat next to Fred, Papa 76.
I love it.
And he was actually my favorite, he voices my favorite character in Call of Duty, and so I was starstruck.
Oh.
And
Thank you.
yes, and Fred
Thank
and
you.
Matt were going back and forth. Like, you guys probably don't remember this, but I was in back of you watching it in line, and you guys were doing voices and stuff, and I was shaking like a leaf because it was such a, it's a nerve-wracking, intense moment. There were 2,000 people in the room that day. Since then, I think I was on a panel with Matt in Atlanta with like 5,000 people. And then, of course, you went to the UK and did one for like 100,000 people. So you're on a different, level.
You showed none of those nerves. I can tell you that.
You did so great.
But
I
learned so much, especially sitting next to Fred and seeing just his love for our fans and whatnot. And so, yeah, then, from coming from the loss, and then 5 years later, I made a baby last year. His name is Guy. And I made a baby this year. Her name is Gal.
Guy and Gal?
Guy and Gal.
So good.
Boy and girl.
That's
we kept
amazing.
it simple. But yeah, it's definitely just a really heartwarming moment.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to be back with all of you, and welcome to Jeannie as well. And yeah, it's been it's so wonderful to be back.
We made it through. We made it through. I'm so happy
Yes.
to see you. I want to talk about how you guys were on the original panel, so I want to get into how your lives have changed, and that's such a beautiful story. Before we go there, Jeannie and Matt and Jeff, I mean, how you guys been doing in this last year? You've been holding steady, good days, bad days, everything in between days?
Everything and more, and sometimes less.
Yeah.
Obviously, I came into the Overwatch world just as the pandemic hit. I remember
we had a session like right before.
We had a session, and there was a TV in the kitchen at LA Studios, and we could see these cruise liners being docked, you know, and people being, and we're watching it just going, what's going on? This is absolutely crazy. Not knowing that the whole city, the whole country was going to shut down. And so it kind of felt not anticlimactic. It just, I didn't know what to expect. So it almost gave me this extra space, you know, to sit into what this world could potentially be, and to brace myself for that communication and that connection with the fans, which has really been quite lovely. I wasn't sure, because I'm quite a private person, and I'm quite shy in my own world. I'm definitely a bit of a hermit. I write a lot. That's my other thing. I do a lot of creative writing. So I wasn't sure what was going to come knocking at my door or slide into my DMs. And it has been nothing but joy, as you were saying before. And just knowing how open, how loving, how sharing the whole community has been. It's like, wow, we're all just human beings trying to get through it and find some joy, find some connection.
Does she keep whacking a mic or something?
There are days when I can feel really down, and even though I'm used to spending time on my own,
definitely undercutting
there are days when I'm like, God, I miss everybody. I really just want to, I want to communicate, I want to connect, I want to take those deep dives. And sure enough, there'll be a message. And it's someone who I don't know just saying, hey, this is what's happening with me today. Or you'll never guess what, this happened. Or I'm feeling like this. And at first, I'm not a professional
she's the one who's working
psychiatrist or therapist or any of those things, but having someone share information during a time when we all really need to share. I was quite scared of giving out information that was like, oh God, what is this going to do then? But realizing it's okay to share a little bit of yourself, like we're doing right now, right? Now more than ever, we're going through it, and we're going to get through it. But there will be days like there are when it's a bit heavy. And then there are days when, I pull my dogs in and I give them a cuddle, and I crack open the karaoke mic and I put on YouTube. And all of a sudden I'm like, babe, I'm going to sing badly, okay? And he's like, all right. And I hear his door close.
Sounds like we're going to do that soon.
I think we need to do that.
I think we need to do that. Yeah.
I hear his door close as well. And then I just bust out some tunes, and music, it really heals. Video games, I am not a gamer, and I think I've said this a lot in social media, but my husband plays a lot of different games, and at Overwatch, I've watched him play, and just storytelling in whatever format. Films, I'm a big film buff. I absolutely love that long, medium format. Animation, my husband's an animator, creative director. So any kind of storytelling to connect us to being human and humanity, that's getting me through right now.
I think you're right. That word connection, I think, is more important than ever. Like I was saying earlier to these guys, and I said on the WoW panel, I'll never take a hug. And any kind of connection, any text, message, anything is so important now. I think it's been hard days, but it slowed us down to remind us what's important. So Matt, how are you doing? I mean, I know you don't really have much to do. You're probably sitting around all the time doing nothing.
Yeah.
Not much in your world that's exciting.
No, I'm hanging in. I'm hanging in. I feel very lucky that I can still be so busy in this time. But to me, it also means it's an opportunity to try and get other people busy as well. It's to a sense of connection. A huge part of connection is community, and we all have to rely on each other, especially in times of crisis like this. So it's helping out with mutual aid funds, GoFundMes that you see in social media. With me and my friends that have our company Critical Role, we finally launched our Critical Role Foundation charity. and are just trying to do what we can to get other people hired and find work and business for other people. And so it's just, it really brings a lot of things into perspective about when you have the opportunity, when you have the platform to use it to lift others up with you, because who knows when you'll need their help to pick you up as well. And that's kind of been a really big, even further clarifying theme in these moments. So that's been very fulfilling, as much as it's been also very tiring. Whereas we don't have any children, we did get a dog.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What kind?
He's a corgi.
Oh, gorgeous.
Pembroke Welsh corgi.
That's Blizzard approved.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. I don't think we didn't immediately bring up our molten corgis and WoW and pretend. But we've wanted to get a dog for a long time, and we've just out of the house so often that if we're going to get a dog, we need to spend those first few months that are so important to bond and help raise them properly. And we only really got that with this pandemic, and we were like, well, if this is the time that we're going to be at home to do this, let's do it.
How many tweets has Overwatch
his name's
sent
Omar,
in
and
the
he's been
last,
a huge anchor in our life
They sent
through
like
a lot of our
1,000,000.
anxieties and all the challenges. But
Sometimes they're like
moments like this, being able to be in this panel with you wonderful
they
people,
posted
to invite you into our
2
crazy, ridiculous
within
family,
the same minute.
is very, very much cherishing these moments and appreciative for when they do come. So.
And for me, my animals, I've got 3 black cats and a dog, and it's like those are my frontline workers, are my animals. They anchor me. So Jeff, how are you? I mean, Jeff, Blizzard, I feel like all of my friends at Blizzard are working so hard, and Jeff, is impossible because your schedule is so full. I think you're working harder now. Jeff, how are you doing? I mean, work and life, how are you? I don't ask you that enough.
Good. I mean, obviously, it's a balance between being aware and respectful of everything that's going on in the world, but then also finding the silver lining. So on the Overwatch team, we're all on Zoom all day long and meeting up and just cranking through the game and making it as good as we can. The one thing that I actually have enjoyed during all of this is I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, and in between meetings I can go in and get a hug or a high five from them. That's awesome. I feel closer to them now than I ever have. Not that I love them more or anything like that, but just that I get to spend more time with them than I did when I was in the office all day. So that's really nice. And also it's the same thing with my wife. And then the other thing I think that's really nice, and some people also mentioned this, is that now everybody's on, some sort of format of communication through their computers. I actually spend more time with my siblings who are all over the country. And just the other day, my son, who's 6, played a board game with my brother, who's much older than 6. So it's just fun to watch, it's fun. And, I reconnected with 2 of my childhood friends who I really don't get an opportunity to talk to that much anymore. But, we get online and talk to each other much more than we ever have before. So I just see it as like a really horrible thing that's going on, but it's forced us to find another way to, enjoy each other. And in some ways, it's actually opened up new avenues to reconnect with people that, we may have lost that opportunity in the past.
Amen to all of that. So I mean, it's just amazing.
Like
and so I'm going to ask you quickly, Jeff, and I'm going to talk about what we've been through.
I think that's
since we're on you, Jeff. I mean, we're all trying to get Overwatch 2 done. I mean, how is it? We were talking on the WoW panel that when we're at Blizzard, we could all jam together, be in the room together, have ideas, get a coffee, do our thing. We can't do that now. So what's it been like to try to bring Overwatch 2 to life when you're remote and you don't have those same connective tissues that we had when we were on campus? How's that going? And tell us every single secret about Overwatch 2 while you're doing it. So just let's do both of those. So
that could take the whole panel.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
It's interesting. It's interesting that you pick up on that. I think when we first started doing this, it was a lot more challenging for us because, we often would get into it, what we would call a writer's room or a jam session or something like that. And there's just a creative energy in the room. And it's like, okay to interrupt people with an idea because, I really love your idea and I think we should do this, that sort of thing. And as soon as you get online, that's not quite as possible because, an interruption online, the audio doesn't really,
I feel like
it isn't quite as natural, if you know what I mean.
With a green
but I think, I think we struggled with it initially, but then ultimately, I think we all got used to the format and we found ways to continue to have those sort of jam sessions. And I'm in them almost all day, every day, and we're just constantly trying to figure out new things and refine things and figure out new story beats and all that stuff. So yeah, I think we've adapted. I guess that's the best way.
So how's Overwatch 2 looking? Best thing ever? No secrets. Damn it. Come on, just one secret, Jeff. One secret. Nothing. Doesn't love us. That's fine. Well, I'm so happy, and it's really great. The creativity still goes on. It was hard for me at first, but you know, it's something to focus on during hard times. But what I want to talk about, the main gist of this panel was, so the reason, obviously Jeannie's new, which is why she's here, but I looked at the panel from 2016 and was like, let's bring the original players back, because I don't think at 2016 any of us really logged in what was going to happen with Overwatch and how our lives were going to change. I mean, I'll never forget one quote I always talk about. Fred, I'm going to quote you. Fred said, you know, Fred does lots of cons, and his wife turned to him and with a Soldier 76 success, said to him, when did you turn into one of the Beatles? Like, so I want to open table this, and then Gina will come to, because I want to talk all about what it's like to come into this family.
It's a strange thing.
You are all like ridiculously loved and famous and cherished and beloved. What's it been like? Tell me, since that panel in 2016, now you're rock stars. We have to, those of you who have not been to BlizzCon, when Darren was in the Hilton bar one night, we had to form a human shield. We had to form a human shield because we were getting mauled.
We had to tank for the tank.
Yeah, a tank for tank.
So, you were my shield.
Yeah. So for anybody, so did you, questions, what was it like? Did you think, well, tell me what it's been like.
You did. Kind of. Because I told you, that was my first ever cast panel. Ever. And just being there at BlizzCon, and I'd gone the year before just to attend when it was announced. I'm like, this is amazing. And to be announced, and we were all waiting and meeting everybody and being so excited, and I was the second. And Cara Theobald was first, and I had my candy, and I was standing there, and I was really nervous, and I was kind of tearing up, and I was seeing everybody cheer, and I went, the minute you step out there, everything changes. Because I'm like, this is a big thing. We love this so much. We were hoping that they did. But it did. It's this incredible journey that we've gone through. And every year that we return to these characters and kind of don these vocal clothes, again, I keep saying it's joy, and I'm overwhelmed by that. But it became this force for good. And I don't think that's what we expect.
That's right.
That it is this positivity, and that we could always be joyful whenever we met, you know, people, or doing a Make-A-Wish. I've done 4 Make-A-Wishes. I think we all have done them. And that these characters mean so much to children. And it all started there from, you know, the time when I'm like, I'm gonna throw candy. My wife said, that's a bad idea.
I love
like
that.
And
now?
Your house for Halloween. Let's just bring candy. It'll be a thing. And it's just always been joyful. So yeah, I guess in a way I kind of went, everything did change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That day.
I don't think anybody's expected it to be a phenomenon.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we a lot of us have worked in games to an extent, and they can vary on how well they're accepted or people engage with it. But this had such a global impact. And here we are 5 years later, and it still has such an impact, and we're gearing up for the sequel. And along with that joy, it's also a unique responsibility, to the point that where the community is looking to us in hard times to be a beacon of light. We're a reminder of joy and a reminder of strength and heroism in a time where that seems to not always be present in a lot of other forms of the media and the world around us. And yeah, it's a video game, it's a work of fiction, but what work of fictions have always done is remind us what we want to achieve, how we want to make things better. It's that inspiration that keeps us thinking about how we can better ourselves and our situation in the world around us. And it's I don't know, I'm very thankful to be a part of this with these wonderful people, and the fact that we can still, all this time later, be inviting amazing new people into this group, this family, to bring their own joy and light to it, and just be so excited for each other and for everyone else in this community to engage with it. It's joyful. Yeah. Once again, you hit it on the nail.
I just need you to say that Overwatch is a million times more important than Critical Role. Can you just say that? I'm just wondering if we can get that on tape.
I am legally unable to speak about this.
But I know you think it.
Very different engines.
We can call it Joyful Watch.
Joyful
Watch. That's the DLC.
I mean, you and I know what you love the most, so we'll just leave it there. It's fine.
I can tell you, Overwatch, much more polished.
Okay. Yeah.
We're a bunch of slapdicks just messing around on the
internet.
Well,
it's still amazing. But I think you hit a good point. Like we always say at Overwatch, it's our vision for a better future. Right?
Yeah.
And that's what's really great.
It's what we could be.
What we could be.
Yeah, and like you're saying, it's a force for good, and that how inclusive it is, and how everyone has their own character traits and their abilities and their strengths, and what might be regarded as a weakness is actually a strength. It's pretty astounding, and the fact that it's hit worldwide is crazy. That I could go to the UK or go anywhere and you know, Dubai or whatever, and somebody is saying, yes, I really connected to this character for these reasons.
Yeah.
And it started, again, as a character that was near and dear to my heart, but I had no idea it would take on this, like you say, a phenomenon. I kind of got a sense when we announced it at BlizzCon that it was such a big deal that time. I was like, oh, this is really anticipated. You know, I was a little out of the loop on that, but it's just, it has changed my world considerably.
Yes.
Because of just being able to go to conventions and go to these places. The response has just been overwhelming, crossing barriers of cultures and languages, and being able to joke, the things they have me write. It's terrible, I can't repeat some of them right now. And you're right, the Make-A-Wish is the best part of the gig. All the things that you can, you know, have people focus on and be open about it. It's a really incredible, incredible ride.
Well, you are kind of like everybody's dad now. That's a big responsibility.
That was a funny thing too, because that started as a joke. I took it as a character who just cares about his soldiers and cares about everybody, and I took that on as like a coach or a dad. That's how I was playing it in my head. That made sense to me, and that's near and dear to how I feel about everybody in reality. But when they started coming in with all these memes and all these like art, the chef, the dad art, that was fan, even though it was planned a lot of, that was so much fan influence. I've never worked on a project where the fans had such a say in what went on. You know what I mean? As opposed to, we've worked on other projects where it was like, this is a very private, thing that no one's gonna know about, and we're gonna surprise them with this. This all of a sudden, it's like, you can make a lot of dad art and jokes, and it's going to show up. Some of these lines are going to show up. You know, that's the other thing. The films. Oh my God. Yeah.
It's next. We just opened up. I don't think any of us knew, and I'll come to Jeff in a second. None of us knew what was going to come. But I'll circle back with Jeff about from the developer perspective. But Charlotte, I mean, as you kind of covered it a little bit earlier, but again, none of us knew. We were like.
And I'm going to echo what everyone else has been saying, but the global impact that the game has had is something that I completely didn't expect at all. But I think for me personally, what I have gained is a tremendous respect for our cast. And in terms of, there is not a single person that I can say is using their platform in a way that is negative or anything like that. I'm really proud to know every cast member. We have like upwards of 30 some.
I don't know how many characters do we have now, Jeff? A lot.
A lot.
87.
87. 87. That's right.
And whether it's encouraging, the fans through this global pandemic, or for me, I personally used it. I used my platform as a voice for to talk about racial injustice, which is something that with George Floyd and everything came up this year, and I've gotten a lot of people, just really reaching out and saying thank you for talking about things or using your platform for to voice. The thoughts and the heart of those who are voiceless at times, and so it was something that I was not very much prepared for, but nothing prepares you for this kind of responsibility, as you said, and my son Guy actually. So speaking of all the traveling and everything, I think one of my favorite places that I got to visit because of Overwatch is Kuwait. Kuwait was an amazing experience, and just being able to travel to so many states and so many countries. And my son was traveling with us from 2 months, so he's a con baby.
Yeah.
And now I've got a baby girl who is 2 months now, and can't take her anywhere right now. But hopefully one day she can start traveling with us again when everything, when the world is well. But yeah, I very much proud of being a part of our Overwatch community. And you were talking about the cultural impact as well. The diversity is, something that we always talk about, but it's now with the pandemic and how everybody's it's been a humbling experience, right? We've all I feel like it's just really pared us down as human beings to what's really important.
Absolutely.
And though we are diverse as a cast, I've also seen that the reality is we're more alike than just the diversity that that is obviously beautiful, but we're all human and connected. And so yeah, even just I think genre of video games, at one point it was thought to be something that was a waste of time, or a little of a niche thing, or something that was a problem for the young generation. But look at us now, you know what our game is doing. It's bringing everybody together and giving people hope in a time and a moment of connection in a time that we really need it. So yeah, I feel like it. And speaking of which, the Beatles, there was a Rolling Stones article about Overwatch, and they called us the Beatles of video games.
That's right. That's
Ooh.
right. Yeah.
So
I got you in my sights.
Oh, that's what we're gonna have to do. If John Lennon was an
back that
Overwatch.
up. No, not a man anymore.
I love it.
As a born Liverpooler.
Now wait, you're like.
Hold on.
I know.
I am actually from Liverpool.
We have a Beatle.
A real
Liverpool strong.
So beautifully said, Charlotte. So all this being said, and Jeff, I'll come to you in a second, but so beautifully said. But yeah, so Jeannie, walking into this world, I remember I love when I get new actors for Overwatch. I'm like, okay, you have no idea what's about to happen.
Right.
Let me try to prep you best I can. And I think a lot of actors are like, oh, sure. And then the tsunami hits. So walking into what we're talking about, so recently the freshest new member, what's it been like from what I warned you to now? Did you see that I was telling the truth?
You were.
Yes.
You were absolutely sharing the truth. And the one thing that you said, which is so lovely, and it prepared me in such a warm, fuzzy kind of way, was that you said, you know, most IPs, most games out there, they're great. Yeah, you know, you're excited to book a job, and
body language.
I'm always excited.
Can she not speak properly?
But you were like, this game is special, and you've really hit something that it's just special. So prepare yourself. And I was like, okay. So obviously, you know, when we were recording Echo's lines and watching the cinematic that came out, you know, everything was just like, oh God, it's pulling on my heartstrings. Oh, she's great. I can really see these things that I have in common with her, or I'd like to be more like her as well. You know, I just got really excited and connected with the character. And then Echo dropped. And then I get this influx of followers, like, you know, that you said, prepare that, clean up your Twitter, clean up your Instagram. And I was like, oh. So yeah, it was a pleasant shock, and one that I'm so grateful for. I feel like I've made so many virtual friends who check in on me daily, you know, and these are people who play the game. They've been playing, you know, for 4 years. They probably met their partner or significant other. You know, they're sharing pictures of their kids with me, and I'm just like, wow, this is amazing, in a time when our physical connection with everybody else has been, you know, cut off. So it's been wild. It's been great. The days that I'm not particularly connecting on social media, they're just my days for everyday writing or, you know, my other creative pursuits. And then when I hop back on to Instagram's my thing, I feel sort of warm and fuzzy, because I see that someone has reached out, and it's really nice for somebody to ask how you're doing, who you don't know. And that's the vibe that I get from all of the community, and also all of the actors, because that's a family that I haven't met physically, and every single one has reached out, said hi, you know, sent an emoji, or we've done some panels together virtually, and man, I'm lucky. I'm so lucky.
It's just, I can't tell you, probably you've all had this experience. I can't tell you how many times getting on Twitter, the love of fans has saved me. I've had really hard days or the loss of my life or something, and
2CP, completely.
Cards. There's
They're
been
not
cards
just
that have
going
showed
to
up
get
on just
rid
the
of
right day
those
when my heart was breaking.
maps.
There's been so many
Especially
miracles
since
from this
they've
beautiful
shown,
family at home that we love so much.
like,
So I want to circle back to Jeff.
adapted
Jeff, from the developer
Temple of
side, I
Anubis.
remember in 2014 when we
So they're
announced
going
it,
to
I was with
probably
Metzen backstage.
repurpose them
We
for
were like, oh
different
God, I hope they're going to like our
modes.
new little game. Like, I don't know, is anybody going to like it? So Jeff, from the
Well, a lot of them
developer
would
side, I
work
mean,
as,
what does the team, I mean,
like payload or
how does it feel to
hybrid
look back at where we've come, how we started, we weren't sure, and now we've got the pressure of Overwatch 2 from your perspective, your personal
think
involvement.
all
It's
of them would
exciting,
have to
scary,
be,
wonderful in between.
changed
How do you feel
to
about it?
be
How's the
a,
journey been for you?
control map.
Probably all of the
Just because those
above.
have to be,
So, I mean, I can
symmetrical.
remember back to pre-2014 when, you know, this is just an idea that was being pitched by Jeff Kaplan and Chris Metzen. And Jeff Kaplan came over to the cinematics department and pitched to us what Overwatch would be. And, you know, all the values that were in Overwatch really resonated with me. At the time in my career, I was no longer directing. I'd moved into more of a supervisor, creative director type role in cinematics. And I remember after that pitch, I went to my boss and I said, I think I need to get back to directing because I really want to be involved with this. And so I was able to direct the announce piece. And I just remember having discussions with Jeff and Chris about, you know, how do we maintain those values and how do we make sure that they're present in the cinematic that we're making and all that stuff. And so I'm really proud about all the work that we've done. I'm excited and also anxious to see how people react to the work that we're working on currently for Overwatch 2. I think we're obviously upholding all those values because they're core to Overwatch. One interesting thing that has happened actually is, you know, if we have this bright, shiny future, but we're injecting a story mode into the game, we had to figure out what that means because you can't have a great story. It'd be really hard to make a great story that's always bright and shiny, you know? And so we had this exercise where we had to try to figure out like, okay, exactly how dark can we take Overwatch? You know, obviously it's not, you know, like zombie apocalypse type territory or anything like that. But,
or is it?
So we went through this exercise of like, okay, where do we take it? And what does dark look like in Overwatch? And, you know, so we figured that out. I think we found a really nice balance. And now we're just getting it done, basically. So, yeah.
Right. Jeff, I can't believe I forgot. Jeff was the cinematic director who did that opening movie with the boys at the museum, the little kids. It's been so long ago. So round of applause. And Jeff, when you were making that piece, I mean, I know that Jeff's an amazing cinematic director, but you probably didn't realize, okay, I'm doing this really cool movie. I don't know how big it's going to be. So now, I mean, that's like one of the seminal pieces for Blizzard Cinematics. At the time, I know you're doing your best work, but did you have any clue where this is going to lead?
I guess yes and no. Like like I said, that presentation that Kaplan and Chris gave, it was extremely inspiring and it felt really unique and something that was just really inviting to everyone. You know, some of the other values are diversity, as some other people have already said, and so I saw the potential there, and I really believed in what we were doing. So that's the yes part. The no part is just the volume. You know, you never know how well received it's going to be, and you always cross your fingers that it, you know, is well received. And so that part was exciting and
just
you know, inspiring as well.
Yeah, I think you did so well. And I think, Jeannie, that's a piece I showed for you to introduce you to Overwatch as little boys in the museum. And I think we all agree, it still gets me because it makes me feel like a little kid again, right? We can all be heroes. And that line, that's kind of our tagline. But that feels real, even and kind of bringing this back to real life. We all right now have to be heroes in our own little way, however we can, you know. And so it's exciting, and I feel so honored as the casting and voice director to be part of this diverse community. It hit me quickly. I want to get back to all of you, but we won some award a couple years ago when Overwatch first came out. I don't know what it was. And one of the heads of Overwatch said, it's great that we've been successful financially, yay for us. What's more important is that the world is resonating with what we're doing because we're trying to show the world that we live in the diversity. We're trying to make the world that we see and be inclusive. And that's when it really hit me, that acceptance speech of like, this is really, it's not just a game, as we're saying, we are trying to represent the world and all of us in all of our shapes and forms. And I know here none of us take that lightly. I feel like it's a great, Jeff, you probably feel the same from the developer side. It's a big responsibility to write the game, to cast the game, to direct it. I want to get it right so we see ourselves everywhere, you know?
To play off of what Charlotte said earlier, you know, for a long time, video games were seen as cursory, things that got kids in trouble or this thing to waste time. But that for a long time, for as long as I've been an adult practically, it's been proven as art, as a form of highly respectable storytelling and an important form of storytelling. And while there are a lot of games out there, and I've worked on a few of them, that don't treat it with the same level of respect and responsibility, the reason we take so much pride in being part of projects like Overwatch is because everyone behind it sees that. They understand that we have an opportunity here on this global scale to inspire people and to do something really good and really important with what we're making. It is art. It will change people's minds. We have to do it right.
Agreed.
Speaking of representation, to kind of go continue on with that first question you asked about how has it impacted our lives? This is a bit of a vulnerable thing, but for me as an actor, I did an interview and I kind of shared about this, but I think I had just insecurities about who I was in the world of, for example, Hollywood, and where I would fit into a project, and would see myself as a support lead or the best friend or something. But something that you have emphasized from the beginning, as well as obviously the rest of the devs, is that none of the cast members nor the characters have more importance than the other. Everybody is on the same level, and we're all a part of this together equally. And that really changed the way I thought about myself. And so as much as we have had, people are like, oh, you've impacted our lives, and as much as we're aware of that and we're told that every day, what it's actually done something for me internally as well. And it completely changed the way I saw myself professionally and as well as personally in being a person of color. And so diversity isn't just important for the people playing it, but it's also done something for me, and for the number of people that have come up to me and said, oh my gosh, you're a woman, you're small in stature, and you sound and look young, and you're a person of color and all of that, and yet you have such a strong hero character that you're playing in this game, and that means so much to me, and now I see myself in that light too. And that, I think, has been something that personally has impacted me, and in that way I think it's not just been for everybody else, but for all of us as well.
But we're all like that. I mean, as a group of actors, we're all just a bunch of misfits. And we were looking for a place where we did
our
fit.
tribe.
And for some reason, all of us, the roles called to each of us. For some reason, these roles went, Diva was like, I've been waiting for you, and 76, and McCree, and Echo.
That was your fault.
And it's that kind of thing. It's, for me, being on stage so long, but being a character guy or being an understudy, because they're like, you do a lot of stuff, so we don't get it. So you'll always be in the back. You'll be part of a cast, but not part of a cast. So now to have this, where we're all accepted, and we truly can look at each other's work and go, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Sitting, watching your animated short at the Blizzard campus, and just knowing that I was crying. I got to share that with you before anybody. Yeah, I do.
I know.
These things that we have connection, where all these wonderful misfits, which is Overwatch in a lot of ways, the game, it's like they came together to do good.
Yes, and each character, like you said, is a standalone thing. Each movie is its own standalone film. When I first saw the Bastion movie, I was just like, this film exists as just a film. If you didn't know anything about Overwatch, or you didn't know anything, and each film kind of functions like that. What's great about having a game is that you play your character, and then someone at a con will say, I main you. Like someone that's not any like you at all. He was my thing, man. That's my stuff. And it's like, it'd be like, I mean, it's astounding. And again, the platforms that you get to, for me, for Soldier, I'm humbled, it was the military. So many military people would come up and connect, and I'm saying, but you're doing this for real.
Yes.
Thank you. Don't thank me. This is something that now I feel like more responsible for that. And then, are you kidding? Now he's gay. Oh, great.
But not just for shock, for real. Like for real.
And I'm glad I didn't know that, because what's great is
we
it
didn't play that.
matter.
Didn't matter.
And I mean, he'll never find, to find love for him is a whole other, story. but it was just, so now that is something that's available and open to people, and how great
I love it.
that platform can be.
It's great.
You know, to say, look, you know.
It's wonderful. I love that you said wonderful misfits. I think we should hashtag wonderful misfits. I'm thinking, you know, you guys at home know that I make t-shirts and pins for the fans.
Don't make another button that I have to throw.
More buttons, more buttons, coffee mugs, coffee mugs. Wonderful misfits. I'm going to steal that. That's who we are.
600.
Yeah, we found our tribe of wonderful misfits. That's why we're here. Well, I want to get to the fun stuff, guys. So, you know, I really, BlizzCon team, can you please give me 8 hours next year, wherever you're at? I think we need 8 hours.
Can I do one quick shout out?
Sorry?
Can I do one quick shout out?
Please.
We are, you know, this is the voice actor panel. We are the voices of these characters, but we are one part of the collaboration that makes this story happen. You know, we are one of the, you know, sometimes if we're lucky enough, early stages, sometimes later stages, but behind each of us and the directors you see out here at BlizzCon, you see there are hundreds of people that are artists, animators, riggers, writers, assistants.
Okay,
so many people that come together to make each of these characters come to life, make the story come to life.
Shout out
and
to them.
that's what
We're
this
still talking about
event is every year. It's a celebration of everybody
All of
this
us.
together. So thank you to all the wonderful developers who work so hard to make these games come true and give us the opportunity to be a part of it.
Yeah, because it's not just one character.
Right.
You have a writer, an animator, a programmer, gamer,
It's a
designer,
village.
a director.
It's a village.
A person who picked you for the part, you know, to audition.
Well, you did pay me, but I mean, we don't really talk about that.
I'm trying to send you some pins.
Right, exactly. Well, cool. So I really do. It's so hard timing. If you guys haven't, it's so hard for me with timing on these panels because I could just talk like this all day. But Jeff and I and the Overwatch team decided we want to really mix it up this year and be ridiculous. So picture we're on our pajamas right now, which we are going to do pajama party next BlizzCon. But we're going to be silly. Yeah, do it. Shoes off. And we want to be ridiculous and have our wonderful actors reading characters. So Jeff, how are you ready? We're going to be silly together. All of us, and so everybody's got their cue cards. We are gonna, first of all, we're gonna just be silly, and the team thought it'd be fun if our characters read some lines from the game, but then we're gonna also read some balanced tweets and
oh boy,
some mean tweets, because you know what, we read what you write. So, Jeff, anything you want to say about balanced tweets or mean tweets? You ready for this?
Good luck.
All right, who wants to start us off?
Which
Read
would you like to start?
Let's do some character lines, and then read the balanced lines, and then the mean tweets, or whatever. Your choice.
Okie dokie. All right.
Character lines first. That'll get us.
Character lines. This is one of my favorites. Adaptive circuits engage. Personality synchronization 100%. Good to be back. Oh. She's so chirpy.
She's so lovely.
She loves life.
Yes.
Is this a non-relevant conversation?
I say that all the time. Yeah.
I mean, would you like another helping?
I love it.
Let's see. Nothing to worry about unless there's something to worry about, as Dr. Liao always said.
I love it.
And so optimal.
Great. All right, let's see what they think of. What should we do? All character first, and then balance, then mean. Let's do all character. Let's do all character first. Okay, so we said good.
We got a few here. The classic, the nightmare-inducing. It's high noon. Justice ain't gonna dispense itself. One of my favorite ones that I still have as one of my classic quotes in the game. I'm your huckleberry. After you. The other one that I have on my my setup for quotes. You done? Always useful in the game. And a really way to just get your team moving fast. Don't sass me is another one that's good. Another one of my favorites. I hear you, pumpkin. And the drawn out. I'm not good, not bad. But I sure as hell ain't ugly.
I love that you have to lift your legs during that. You totally
I am an awkward, tight nerd, and like the physicality of him is so different than me that you have to slip into it.
Your body, in session, your body changes. I watch you slip into McCree, absolutely. I love it. All right, Diva, what you got, girl?
So I'm gonna start with my alt. Nerf this. And there are some other lines here, but I actually really like the ones that are interactive.
Do it. What, do you remember some? Go for it.
I think your clock's off. Hey, Daddy-o. And let's see, what else do we have? Oh, I love that she also has lines in Korean.
Yes.
She's the Korean character. 새해 복 많이 받으세요. 안녕. Is this easy mode? 하면 이겨야지, which is I play to win.
I love
Is this easy mode? Very classic
I get
Korean.
the feeling you're not taking me seriously. The best things in life come in small packages. And the last one, I'm gonna own all those noobs.
Yes, girl, yes,
love it.
yes. All right, Fred, what you got?
I'll see if I can make a relevant conversation.
Dramatic
Well, there's
read.
always, I've got you in my sights. It's some not listed I love.
Do
I'm not
whatever
a
you
young
want.
man anymore. Or the one I feel lately, they keep knocking me down, but I keep getting back. We're all soldiers now. That's sir to you. Sit down. Shut up and heal, damn it.
Young punks.
I'm a man on a mission. Stay out of my way.
You have to do young punks.
You don't want to go to war with me. Young punks, get off my lawn.
Yes.
To write that in many different
So good, so good. So good, all right.
Okay, let me look. There's nothing on the paper. You wrote that. Oh, wait. This is reading that I cannot read at all. But
You printed it upside down.
hammer down. Oh, there it is. Justice will be done. Precision German engineering.
And the one we made up on the spot that way.
Honor, justice, Reinhard, Reinhard, Reinhard. Don't worry, my friends. I am your shield. And I'll cross a leg like McCree. You're on my naughty list, Cowboy McCree boy. Oh.
That's not one of the laws.
It is now, right,
should
Jack?
be.
It is now.
Making me blush over here.
I love it.
It's your blood.
All right, so let's go with you.
Oh.
Pick a balanced tweet or two and mean tweets, because we want to do something after this.
A balanced tweet. For the love of Pete's Dragon. My thoughts on Reinhardt experimental mode changes. And then there's a lot of letters that spell Leroy Jenkins.
Now read it as Reinhardt.
Yeah, read it as Reinhardt.
Oh, yeah. As much as I love Reinhardt, it is absolutely infuriating to play as him. His mechanics are so messed up, and he's not even worth playing. The only thing he's good for is his shield, and even that is easy to get rid of. Source, this.
That's one of those.
Yeah. Great. All right. Fred,
I just
we'll do
know-
the mean. We're gonna do mean tweets as well. So let's do that last.
These are balanced tweets,
Balanced
whatever the hell that means. It's nice you could be an old guy. It's kind of great. Let's see. Burst damage. Burst damage is king and soldier doesn't do enough of it. All right, I'll take that. Soldier 76 is bad, but also Soldier 76 is OP and needs nerfs. Well, to quote my dear friend, nerf this. The hell's a nerf? You want rival or micro shots? Jack of all trades, but master of none. If these recall changes to live, I might go back to being a legs main. Oh, sorry, not live. If these recall changes go live, I might go back to being a legs main. I screwed that up. I don't understand why people play Soldier 76. He is such trash and very overpowered. I'll take that. Soldier 76 is the most unskilled and overpowered character in Overwatch. You got that right. Holy, he is so annoying. Respect the chef.
All right.
I love you anyway.
Diva is often played like a shotgun version of Torbjorn's turret with the verticality of an earthworm. Oh, okay. A message to support players, please do not queue tank in comp if you can only play Diva. It's basically soft throwing. Okay. Shouldn't Diva be able to eat Baptiste's immortality field? Playing Diva is like trying to win a race with a horse when other people have a sports car. And the last one, Baby Diva is too tanky.
I love it.
Is that like skanky?
Thank you very much.
Skanky. I don't think they meant
Thank you.
It's too
I
That's
love
just
it.
a-
I love
Output
it.
is quite tanky.
Yeah. I love it. Who's got
Thanks
the
a
Earth
lot.
Shatter? Do one of you have the Earth Shatter on your card?
I think that was me.
I love that's my favorite one. Shatty.
When a Reinhardt gets a powerful Earth Shatter, it must be called Fatty Shatty from now on.
Fatty Shatty.
Fatty Shatty is
Oh
pretty
my
great.
Why?
Because it's fun and it's alliteration.
Is that all we do?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
All right. What you
We're
got?
friends again.
Oh man, all right. McCree,
More like McNeeds more nerves. You have a tracer? Oh, McCree can flashbang headshotter. They have a Hammond too? McCree has flashbang. Far Mercy too? McCree's job as well. But does he get a shield as protection, an off-tank to peel for him, or pocketed by his support when he tries to deal with them? Hell no. Oh, why is the shield not breaking, McCree? A lot of complaints. As someone who put 30 hours into McCree, I hate McCree. 250 HP, thick Cree. Oh, Lord, he come. And, well, this is a good question. Maybe you can answer here, Jeff. Why does Blizzard hate McCree so much? Send tweet.
I like you said, send tweet. Why does Blizzard hate McCree? I love these. Are the best.
These are great.
All right, let's see what you got.
All right. Echo can die very easily to most hit scans, considering her gigantic head.
Oh, okay.
Theory. Echo is not the real Echo, but a Talon copy, infiltrating Overwatch operations, which explains the damage focus kit. Echo doesn't need to be nerfed because she's already a glass cannon.
Right.
Compliment? It feels like a compliment.
Yeah.
I think that's a compliment. For the love of God, get Echo balanced. Holy Overwatch.
Exclamation point.
Exclamation point, exclamation point, yes.
Yes, okay, great. So mean tweets are my favorite. They're really fun. So let's start with, let's go back around. These are great.
Okay. I'm going to say a bad word.
It's okay, we're going to beep you out maybe.
Maybe. I hate how Echo from Overwatch has a face.
So sorry.
Apologize. We'll scrub that.
Yes.
God, I dislike so much of Echo's design. Her generic bland, comforting face, her generic bland, obedient AI voice, her pointless hourglass torso. There's just absolutely no unique character to her, which for Overwatch is weird. Every part of her is just sexy, boring lady robot.
Some people can maybe think what to do with the sexy lady.
I'm okay with that.
I just still have to remark on that the fact that sexy and boring were in the same. I think that's a wonderful compliment.
You know, I love an oxymoron.
Hey, you're really beautiful.
You're really sexy.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'd love to play chess with you. You're
I'd
so
love that.
sexy.
Let's play chess all night.
You'd probably win, though.
I don't know, checkmate.
Wow. Queen's Gambit?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Queen's Gambit?
I am.
Okay, that's good. I don't
You'll
like
move.
the Queen's Gambit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to move because you're sexy and boring at the same time.
I know. All right, let's do it.
I love that was together.
Oh, boy. I hate that I can hear it perfectly in this stupid, cocky McCree voice like goo goo gaga hey. And, oh, boy. I want to learn to play McCree because my friend and I love/hate his voice. And I can
Currently, I have 1 sub.
My apologies.
All right, Diva.
Since I've been swapping what I've been streaming
even though she trash.
a lot. So, Twitch doesn't want to promote my streams because I swap what I do so often.
This is, again, mean maybe, but it's all real. Like, here it is. Does anyone else listen to Soldier 76's voice line, quit messing around and get ready to move, and feel like he's on the verge of saying, quit around, like some tired dad trying to wrangle up his teens in the toy aisle because he hasn't gotten his afternoon nap in? That's what I was going for. That's exactly right. So,
success!
Good on you. Agreed, though. I understand.
I love it. All right, Darren.
Get a closer. Hello. I'm a mean tweeter, and I will say the following. I hate Reinhardt's voice. He sounds like a drunken German pirate. Yo ho ho, more like yo ho no.
I wrote that. That's how you send a mean tweet. After yo ho no. Queen's Gambit ya.
Well played, sir.
Oh my God. All right.
You're a pirate.
Yes.
You're a pirate. I'm a beetle and a trumpeter.
I love it. Jeff, did you catch all those?
Liverpool accent.
I love it. Jeff, what do you think about all of those? Balanced tweets, the mean tweets are great. I love it all. Any thoughts?
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, I keep thinking about like how much our community loves Overwatch, and then I hear those, and I'm like, oh.
You're gonna do all these fixes in the next bout.
Yeah, we're gonna fix it all. We're gonna
fix that. Yeah.
So we have very little time left because we run out of time always, but we're gonna do a quick couple rounds of improv.
Oh, geez.
We just want to be nuts. So in this jar, I have improv ideas from our team that are ridiculous. I'm gonna just grab them and we'll do just quick little improv sketches, kind of like TV shows do, and just have fun. So I'm gonna pull a topic up. Whoever wants to jump up, it can. We're gonna stay in our seats to be safe. It can be. It doesn't have to be two of you. It can be whoever wants to do it. How about that? So as character, and we'll just have fun and see what happens. Sound good? All right.
Sure.
Here we go. It's gonna be
But
wonderful.
Jeff, create a biotic field for COVID, please.
Yes.
That's what we need.
I love it. All right. Let's do. Okay, here we go. And you could all just pretend it's a scene. You could all riff on this one. If Overwatch has been rebooted into a 1920s detective drama.
Oh,
You've all arrived at a crime scene, right? There's like a chalk drawing on the floor. You're all detectives in the 1920s.
The leggy robot with the face walked in. Oh, she had legs from here to tomorrow. She looked down at the body and she said the classiest line that this private detective has ever heard.
This body looks like an absolute pile of caca poo-poo. What on earth could it be? Is it human or is it AI?
In came suspect number one. He was a cowboy. He had a swagger like nobody's business. He went up to the sexy leggy robot. He looked down and said,
Don't mean to be brash, but did I just hear you say cuckoo papa? Or was that poo-poo caca?
I believe it was poo-poo caca, and it's French.
I didn't believe her. I'd been to France once when I was 4 years old. Didn't see any poo-poo caca while I was there. However, as I stared into the distance, eyes narrowed, I heard footsteps from behind.
I don't understand this.
In burst the victim's wife. She was very upset, and she had a giant mecha with her.
Oh my God. Wait, why am I British all of a sudden?
Whatever you want to do.
It wasn't me.
Because it was not her. And the greatest detective mind knows is because as I used my hammer as a cigar, I turned to the real culprit who always had the victim in his sights. It was Soldier 67, the evil soldier from an alternate dimension.
That's right. I was tired of that 76 guy, so I had to kill him. I killed him dead right there. But then... I'm powering up. Look, I'm not a young man anymore. Where's 67? Took care of that crap.
That is when the world's greatest private eye was shot by the villain 67. I fell onto the chalk drawing in the exact same position of the body. And our story came to an end because I'm a ghost!
My aim wasn't as good, sorry.
Oh my God. We could do this all day. Oh my God. I didn't know that. I love the French that you speak. That was very impressive.
Thank you.
Oh my God. So good. So good.
It's not bad for the person.
I love it.
Boy, that was
Okay,
so good, but it was.
now all of these characters show up in Target to buy toilet paper, and there's one roll left.
After you.
Oh, no, please. You may. I understand.
I'm just going to take the last one for a friend because I don't actually need it.
No,
you don't.
No.
Pardon me, ma'am. I don't mean to intrude here, but like you said, you seem to eat pretty clean, being a robot and all. You, I don't know how much prune juice you're putting through that system right there, but
it's pretty distilled. It's pretty distilled.
I drink a lot of real terrible coffee, and I'm in mighty need of whatever that roll's giving.
Might I recommend it for my buddy over here? He might need it pretty badly. There's a lot of sauerkraut in his diet.
Charging power activated!
I suggest you clear out.
Might I suggest one thing, since I have a certain capability that the rest of you don't? duplicating toilet paper. Pew, 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 pew.
Wow.
Woohoo! That's good.
Where were you 9 months ago when this was harder to find?
I hadn't been announced to the world, but here I am now, and
Fair enough.
hopefully...
You had to sign an NDA.
I did. I had to sign an NDA. So...
Couldn't just go into any Target and buy a toilet paper. Yeah, free TP.
Payload has landed.
Well played. Well played. Okay, let me see. We just got a couple minutes left. Some of these are my total favorite. Okay, choose two. Awkwardly asking the other to prom in high school as younger versions of yourself. Anybody? Who wants to ask Diva out?
Younger versions of ourselves.
Yes.
Younger, as our characters?
Yes.
Okay.
I am a modern woman, and so I'd like to ask somebody out.
Okay.
McCree, I know that I always say that your clock's off, but I think your clock is quite on. And so I was just wondering, would you like to go to prom with me?
Well, that's mighty fine offer you put there. I'm blushing. I would say yes under one condition.
Okay, what is that?
Are you against the idea of a group date?
Oh.
Being a modern man.
And me being a modern woman, sure. Who else would join us?
My friend Reinhardt. It's been a fine year hanging out with you, and I was wondering if you'd do the honor of coming to prom with me.
Oh.
And my date.
I would very much like to go to prom with you and also to visit Diva.
Oh, it seems that my voice is changing. I'm an adult all of a sudden. Oh, no.
Hey, Wilhelm, I thought we were gonna do something, but I guess not. That's okay. You got your friends. That's fine, I guess. But,
you can come with us.
Really?
It's better when we're a team, when we're all together, and there's no one that knows that better than my friend Echo.
All right. Yes.
If I may.
Robot lady.
Robot girl.
Girl, sorry.
If I may, I'm still learning and don't really know what prom is. But if it's okay, could I just come along and watch?
That's what prom is. It's where all the friends get together and they watch each other have a good time and they support.
Yeah. Oh, well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah.
I may have to ask you on the dance floor a couple of times.
Oh.
Can you do the robot?
I think it's
bit?
actually part of my main directive is to
Yeah, that
dance.
seems great.
I
Like
know
your
no
pocket.
other way but to dance like a robot.
Perfect.
You're about the right age now to be a proper chaperone.
Excellent. I shall sit in the corner and provide safety and comfort as I do the robot with you.
I love you guys. Let's just clap for us. So pretend all of our fans are here.
That was far better than my actual prom.
Weirdly.
Right?
Oh my gosh, it's so hard. I feel like these panelists, like all of you, they're just over in a second. So we're technically out of time. I want to go over because first I want to thank all of you for doing that. Putting you on the spot and doing improv on camera is can be hard, but it's so fun to just play and be like we're kids together having a slumber party. Before we go, the most important thing that I wanted to do is kind of switching gears. That was really fun and silly and ridiculous, but it's to give words of support and love to our fan base. You know, we'll probably see them in a year from now at our next BlizzCon. But what words can we send to them right now to tell them that they're loved and we're all going to be okay? So whoever wants to go first. I don't know. Let's go around.
First,
please.
First of all, I just wanted to say thank you to all of you and of course Andrea for inviting us to be able to get together today. I haven't seen humans in a year, and so this is really surreal, but just has been so lovely. And I just wanted to say to the fans, you know, one of our taglines is the world could always use more heroes. And even if you don't feel like one right now, I just pray that there will be somebody in your life that you feel is a hero to you. And if you do have the energy to spread that love and positivity to those around you. What we have, I think, is hope. We have hope and we have strength. And as long as we can do it together in a community and stay positive, we're going to be able to get through the hardest of times. And so thank you for being a part of our lives. And we hope that in everything that we do as the actors and as the characters, we will be able to also be a positive light to you as well. So much love and thank you.
Yes, beautifully said. Beautifully said. Who else?
Just echo every the wonderful things that you said. Times like this really help clarify the important things, and really few things are important more than community. You know, culturally it's easy for people to be raised with the idea of the individual over the community, and I think more now than ever it's showing how important it is that we all help each other out, that we rally behind each other and remind each other that we're there for each other. What bit of joy we're able to bring to your lives, please know that you bring an endless amount back to ours, and every member of this community is part of the family in some way. Don't be afraid to ask your fellow man if you need a little help or even just a shoulder to lean on. And don't be afraid to lend that shoulder or lend what help when you can, if you can. And if you can't, spread the word to find somebody else who might be able to. You know, we only have each other at the end of the day to rely upon. So thank you for your wonderful support, and thank you for tuning into this wonderful delight today.
Well said. Well said.
I've lost people during this. It's been hard, but there's a quote that says, "It will be all right in the end." And if it's not all right, it's not the end. So keep going. So keep going. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Love you too.
I don't want to miss the opportunity to say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We love you, Darren.
Love you, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. Fred, Jeannie?
Continuing from that, love is everything. To quote the Beatles, love is all you need. All you need is love. And to remember that this community is built from that, you know. So much of that love comes to the surface, and let's continue to share that. Let's continue to reach out, and just like everyone else has been saying, you know, if you're able to lend a shoulder or an ear or eyes, if a message comes through, take the time to acknowledge your fellow human and to know that we're all the same, you know. Something that I like to say a lot is all is one and one is all. We're all made of the same stuff. And if we can just strip down to that very core of ourselves and to know that that's what's in each and every single one of us, to know that we're all connected in that way, and to connect in a way that is just pure and full of kindness and love and understanding, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this with that sentiment. And from a personal perspective, I've never felt so much love from a community of people who I would have said were strangers 8-9 months ago, but none of you are strangers to me. And I hope that I'm able to share more of my life with you so that I'm not a stranger to you. And I just want to thank you for bringing this world to me. And we're going to get through it. Let's not give up. Let's keep going. And I love you all. And I'm so grateful for all of you here on this panel. I'm so grateful to all of Overwatch and Blizzard. Getting a bit emotional here, but just thank you. Just thank you. So much gratitude to all of you and for all of it. So.
I'm going to reiterate and just say thank you. We are all connected. We're many different folks, and but we are all so connected. Strip it down and just, you know, to do the quote, to be that change that you want to, you know, see. Just start on any level and reach out to each other, and just know that you are all so beautiful, just absolutely beautiful as you are, and we love you so much. And just hang in there. We didn't start this virus, but we'll damn well finish it. And you know, hang in there and keep creating, keep making joy, and just live with love as much as you can.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Jeff, any parting words from you and the Overwatch team?
I mean, everyone said so much of how I feel already. I guess I'll add that BlizzCon is always this moment for the Blizzard community to come together, developers, fans, players, and everybody just enjoys each other's company and connecting and all that kind of stuff. We will get through this, and I look forward, and I think I can speak for most of Blizzard that everybody looks forward to being able to be with you again in the future.
Beautifully said, Jeff. I'll close the panel. I want to just, first of all, say thank you, all of my amazing, to call you actor doesn't come close to it. I feel like you're all amazing humans, and I just love you, and I'm so grateful that you braved the wild fires that are out there to join us here today to shoot this. That's no easy thing. That was a decision each of you had to make. And thank you to the fans for tuning in. I want to say again, the voiceover panel started as a tiny little thing at BlizzCon years ago in the corner, like a little circus freak show. And now we're here in this set because
like
of
they really
you,
should have done
because the love you give us and how close you hold us in your heart. So without you, we wouldn't even be here. Thank you for tuning in. Find us on our social media handles. Tell us you love us. We'll tell you we love you. You're not alone. We're always just a tweet or a text or something away. Take care of yourself, guys. Be healthy, be happy. We're going to be okay, and we're going to make it through, I promise you. We love you. See you later.
Love you.
Bye.
Okay. Probably the next phase starts at 10 past.
Dolby is a proud partner of BlizzCon Line. Watch Shock vs. the World in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, only in the Dolby Access app. Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of BlizzCon Line.
Probably the most exciting thing about what I get to do at Blizzard is I wake up every day and I get to make video games. How cool is that? My name is Anna Rosenberg, and I am an associate software engineer at Blizzard. What I do is mostly behind the scenes, and what that is it's essentially making tools for other engineers to create a more streamlined and robust process for our build systems, and tools for people to essentially make the best work they can in the most efficient possible manner. I came to Blizzard Irvine initially through an internship. I've always loved video games. I knew I wanted to work in them, but I had no idea how. And I remember when I was probably 13, 14 years old, and I saw on our career site that there were internships, and I was like, wow, it'd be so cool to work there someday. When I was an intern and I was working on the BlizzCon.com team, they told me that my internship project was going to be moving the BlizzCon watch experience into the Battle.net client. My mouth just dropped. I was so excited, and I couldn't believe that I was going to work on something that millions and millions of people got to see. Blizzard is actually very good about internal mobility opportunities. I started out doing web development full-time on our Battle.net team, and after a year or so, I was thinking to myself, like, there's so many other forms of engineering that I want to explore and look into that I don't think that I want to stay in this track for the rest of my career. So I started looking at our internal mobility program, and I wanted a wider breadth of technologies to work with, and I wanted to work more directly with people as well. And I found this in one of our internal mobility posts. I reached out to the hiring manager, and we got coffee, sat down, and talked about what it meant to be in this role and what my day-to-day would look like. And I was like, that sounds awesome. I want to do that. And so I went through another interview process and landed in a new automation role where I currently work. I feel supported by my leadership team. They listen, which I think is the most important part, because nobody's perfect, and I think that also plays into the core value of learn and grow. My manager checks in with me. We have one-on-ones every single week where I feel comfortable asking questions, and if I ever wanted to do something else or I had curiosity in another subject, I often will go to him with, hey, there's this cool new technology that I want to work with, or something that I just haven't used before, and he's like, cool. Let's make it happen, and he puts it on the schedule, and he sets me up for success. I think that Blizzard has a lot of opportunities to get involved in the community and culture and really making the games industry a better place. And not just the industry, but for our players and our communities as well. I'm a part of one of our diversity and inclusion efforts.
I went through the entire like 3-minute Rialto thing, and you only notice that it is
with
Rialto
seen and unseen
in, like,
disabilities and creating a welcoming culture for people who have these disabilities.
Like, they
I
make these
definitely
full
think
songs.
working at Blizzard has been the right move for me. Being able to work with the people, being able to work on something you love, being able to make a difference as well in the community, I think is so important. I love working here. It's really cool, and I wake up every day excited to go to work, and that's really special.
Let me tell you how it's done.
You're onto something.
Let's get started.
No escape.
Ouch! Mace to the face.
That's what I'm talking about. Hold it together.
I didn't know that that's me boosting the entire animation.
Right on target.
Hammer time. I'll make this look easy.
Get in there, Bob. Thanks, everyone. Hello there.
Those guys dynamite.
So before we get started, I just wanted to mention a few things about the franchise and its musical sound that we sort of uncovered over the process of that first year. Some of those core things were that sense of hope, and was that somehow present in the heart of the music. As well as that sense of heroism. Something in it that sort of inherently made you want to sit up taller in your seat. And those were things that, regardless of what the piece of music was for, whether in-game or a piece of cinematics or what map it was from, sort of listening at a piece of music in its essence, trying to hear if somewhere in it was a sense of hope or heroism, could help you figure out if it was right for the franchise.
The challenge was, there's nothing there. You have to make something out of nothing, and it has to fit the exact parameters of, the timing of the scene, and to hit at just the right moment and have just the right sound.
Yeah, we're so lucky that Blizzard is such a collaborative environment. The music team is very much considered integral to our game development, and it's something that I think benefits the game, having a range of compositional voices, and it's something that we've tried to do across all the media types that we have. Overwatch isn't simply a video game, it's a cinematic animated series, it's an esport, there's a lot of promotional content that goes out there, and you'll often find that internally it often gets sprinkled around all of the type of content we create. Overwatch League is based on our core Overwatch themes. Our cinematics often pull inspiration from our map music or some of the very original theme exploration that was done well before I even started at Blizzard. I think it goes back to a core idea that when music leaves our department and the public see it, we want it to be as strong as it can possibly be.
One of the really exciting things about theme is that
that's the place in music where you say something. I think of theme as kind of like a thesis statement where you're trying to create the big idea, and everything is derivative of that big idea. If you get that right, then everything else writes itself. You know, it was very exciting and a little daunting, but you know, I remember seeing the artwork and just, you know, instantly getting, you know, ideas in my head. But ultimately, it comes down to, you know, when you're working on a cinematic, like, you know, I had worked on the announcement trailer. Sam had written this this beautiful fanfare that Chris Velasco had arranged in you know, the intro, as well as the moment where you see the gauntlet. So you had this you know, very hopeful fanfare already established, but we needed something to be kind of the heroic action theme that happens, you know, a couple times in the cinematic, but you know, the climax of that is when, you know, the gauntlet, you know, punches Widowmaker. And we ended up calling that, you know, Hero B for a while, but eventually became the victory theme, the play of the game theme. And it's something that, you know, I struggled with for quite a bit. I did multiple versions of it, and it wasn't quite there. And the way it always works is, you know, it's obviously the last thing you come up with. But when it finally clicked and locked into place, there's just something, I just remember feeling this sense of, you know, that's it, and I think that's going to be the one. Something felt very special, felt like we were onto something. A real highlight for me was the Bastion cinematic, and it was not easy. Ben Dye and Jeff Chamberlain helmed that project, and they were very, very particular about how that felt. And I think that there was a very clear vision in their minds about what that should be. And it was a really interesting thing to see the backstory of a character that's a monster, and to find out that there was a level of innocence that there was you know, that Bastion became the way he became because of what he experienced. Before that, he was an innocent. He was naive. He had feelings. And I love how that is portrayed through that cinematic. But the process of getting to that was a grueling one, and it was the product of many iterations. And to the credit of Ben and Jeff, they just never ever gave up. They didn't give up. You know, those are hard asks after someone's done something a number of times. You realize what you're asking people, and they didn't flinch at all, and nor did they give up on me, which is a really key issue. That's something that is unique to Blizzard. You feel empowered by that. You really do get a sense that this is something that is cared deeply about, and there's a real vision for it, and they just won't settle. The other thing is that one of the important things about being a producer and director is just creating the sense of taste. So, and communicating what that is to those who are going to contribute to this creative process. I think that a personal investment, when you're on a creative team, a personal investment in story and character, that's everything. And when we're we're trying to get to the essence of whatever that character is. We need to know their backstory. We need to know the old cliche in film, what's my motivation? That's a real thing. And getting a sense of that and expressing it authentically with your creative work, that means everything. And I think that's the very reason why people feel what they feel. And if I don't feel it, you won't feel it. But I do have a very deep connection to that world. It's as real to me as walking outside and seeing the tangible world. There's not anything to me that's any less real or tangible about the Overwatch world than when I go out and experience life. I remember when I first saw the Dragon short in its rough form, which is a rough animatic, and it wasn't the final animation. There's temp music and temp dialogue and everything. I remember just feeling this a sense of really emotional connection to it, even in that form. Something about the story, something about just the motivation behind it really resonated. And I still get choked up at the end of it, watching it, not because of my music, but because of the emotional connection I had to it when I was creating the music. And I think that's a testament to the writers and to the game developers and everyone that brought that the cinematic to life. And to get to be a part of that, and to get to be a part of helping tell these stories and expanding the the cinematic universe outside the game is an incredible gift. I'm very grateful for that.
When it came to announcing Overwatch 2 in November 2019, all of us in this room and other composers had contributed so much to finding the right sound for both 0 Hour and the gameplay trailer. And to sit in that room, to have that opportunity to do that, it was amazing. And to feel the energy in the room as we witnessed Overwatch probably at what we've seen the lowest of lows. But then to come back and have all the heroes show up one by one. And the crowd just erupting and the room vibrating as, their favorite hero showed up in Paris to save the day. It was truly memorable, and it just reminded me how much this franchise resonates with people, how important it is to them, and how much of an honor it is for us to do what we do every day. Location music is so interesting and such a unique challenge for Overwatch. As the universe has grown over the years, we've seen so many locations being added to the game. For example, Busan, we will source Korean percussion and Korean woodwinds and use those. And each one presents a new unique challenge. We have a core set of values when it comes to creating this location music. Firstly, we want to honor the location and region that that we're writing the music for if it's based in the real world, which in most cases it is. But we also want to put it through the lens of what would this sound like in Overwatch. This is a futuristic depiction of Earth that we are yet to experience. We haven't familiarized ourselves with it. We don't live there. So how do we blend the two? And that fusion is always super interesting to experiment with. We will not cut corners at all, to the extent that in many cases we've actually worked with our regional teams. In the same way that our sound designers go and hire teams who will record Foley sounds, we will do the same for music. And I think that, you know, we are very conscious that the fans are very invested in this franchise. They love the game, they love the universe. We have fans that might not even play the game, but are just enamored with the characters and will dress up in cosplay, come to BlizzCon, consume the cinematics like nothing else. And, you know, it's a testament to how much Overwatch has just touched people and how people have resonated with it so deeply over the years. That said, when we are creating the music, or me personally, it's all about the content we're making. We're trying to elevate what's already there. We're trying to build upon the foundations of what other departments may have done with a cinematic or a level in the game or a new character. And so long as we serve that purpose, we think that people will resonate with it how we resonate with it internally at Blizzard.
You have to have an emotional connection to the work to be able to convey a true emotional connection, you know, to the viewer. But on the other side of it, you know, do we think about the millions of people that are going to see it, are going to watch the cinematic or are going to play the game, or all the people that are going to be at BlizzCon? Do we let that pressure get to us? Because there's obviously a pressure to make the best thing you can make, and as a creative person, how do you deal with it? How do you sit down and create something knowing how much, how many people will see it, how much scrutiny there will be over it, how much, you want it to be the best it can be, but ultimately you have to tune that out and just focus on what's right in front of you, and focus on the characters and focus on making the best thing you can be. And whether or not it's a hit, or whether or not, people love it or don't love it, you did your best, you gave it your all, and that's all you can really focus on.
Yeah, I think the primary function of music is to serve the story that's being told, develop the world, create something that helps grow whatever we're making into something much more larger.
It can be extremely difficult to really pour your heart and soul into something and come up with an idea that you work so hard at, and to present it to somebody else, to be judged, and to be ultimately have them decide whether or not it works in the project. But one of the best things about Blizzard is that no matter how many times we have to, start from scratch or keep trying, ultimately they're after the best possible vision of the product. As long as you know you're after something that is going to be worth it in the end, it gets you up every morning, and it makes it worth all of it. I look back now, I've been, a professional composer for 23 years now. I look back and I just see, all these projects that I finished that I forget, I guess, that at the time these were these giant mountains that I had to climb. But as long as you have something that's driving you to get to the other side, whether it's just pure stubbornness, and in my case probably, it keeps you going.
Overwatch was so exciting because, we keep hearing this word hopeful. Well, it's really easy to be cool if you're brooding and dark, but it's really, really hard to be cool when it's hopeful and bright. And Overwatch has managed to do that.
No, I think it's just the end ceremony for day 1.
안녕하세요, 마범입니다. 전 세계에서 시청 중인 블리자드 팬 여러분, 저희가 세계적인 블리즈컨의 무대에 이렇게 찾아뵙게 돼서 정말 영광입니다.
네, 저희가 블리즈컨에서 공연한다고 하니까 주변의 친구들이 너무너무 부러워하더라고요. 한국에서 블리자드 인기는 정말 대단하다고 합니다.
네, 블리자드의 30주년 정말 축하드립니다. 앞으로 블리자드 게임할 때 누구?
마마무!
예.
저희 음악과 함께 해주세요. 감사합니다.
네, 그럼 지금까지 아싸 마마무 마마무였습니다. 감사합니다.
I don't think this will be good.
All I wanna be is 멋진 내 맘대로 걸어 머리 어깨 무릎 다 힙해
K-pop.
Do it like me do it 나를 따라 해 Clap it clap it 모두 같이 해
We go back to Metallica, please.
네가 뭐라든 간에 Respect you 네가 뭘 하든 간에 늘 따끈따끈해 그 관심이 따끈따끈해 또 일끔
이제 모두 내리가 폰을 배로해 성공을 썰어먹어 마친 미술래 누구보다 빠른 걸음을 걸어내 시즌 잊은지도 오래야 뒤가로
All I wanna be is 멋진 내 멋대로 걸어 머리 어깨 무릎 다
넌 아니든 no fashion 별로 신경 안 써 그저 action
자꾸 click me 홀린 듯이 Close up close up close up hip
머리 어깨 무릎 hip 머리 어깨 무릎 hip
어딜 가도 빛날 수 있어 세상에 넌 하나뿐인 걸 근데 왜 이래 네 얼굴에 침뱉니
날 자극한 여러분 감사 거기서 모두 지질이 반사 덕분에 나의 멘탈을 다단해 난 덤을 만들어갈게
All you wanna be is trendy 얼굴 긁기 기믹됐지 그런 애들끼리 hip 넌 아니든 no fashion 별로 신경 안 써 그저 action 자꾸 click me 홀린 듯이 do Close up close up close up hip
머리 어깨 무릎 hip 머리 어깨 무릎 hip 검은 잎 삐져나오는 떡진 머리 난 상관없지 검은 잎 삐져나오는 잎 떡진 머리 내가 별해
검은 티 삐져나온 패티 떡진 머리 난 상관없지 검은 티 삐져나온 패티 떡진 머리 내가 하면
넌 아니든 no fashion 별로 신경 안 써 그저 action
자꾸 click me 홀린 듯이 주 Close up close up close up hip
머리 어깨 무릎 hip 머리 어깨 무릎 hip
Oh god. I did not enjoy that. So there's another 5 minutes left. Maybe that's just it. We'll check Blizzard channel. See if that is just...
Well, what a day. I always love seeing those Blizzard cinematics and, of course, hearing all the latest updates from our dev teams.
We're excited to unveil our first major content update for Shadowlands, Chains of Domination.
Soon, you'll be able to revisit Outland yourself when beta starts and tell us what you think.
With Classic revisiting the past, now let's take a look to the future and explore the first expansion of the year of the Griffin.
The mantra for Diablo 4 has been customization first, and the road takes us to a whole new level.
We really want Overwatch 2 to feel like the next evolution, a true sequel to the first game.
After more than 20 years, the Dark Wanderer has returned.
From epic performers of BlizzCon's past, Metallica, to our endlessly talented voice actors.
I swear to my queen.
Well, to quote my dear friend, nerf this. Oh, why is the shield not breaking, McCree?
To Blizzard founders.
I remember when there was a game out there that we liked, we always wanted to show that we could create something even better.
To the greatest StarCraft legends of all time.
This is such a devastating amount of damage. It is worthwhile.
We hope you've enjoyed the show today. Again, please check out the activities waiting for you on BlizzCon.com and join the discussion on your favorite social media channel. Tomorrow is all about leaning into our global community, starting with responses to your questions and comments from today. Then our truly amazing community showcase built from all the epic brilliance of all of you. We hope we have segments planned that capture your interest. And if you happen to love Diablo and/or D&D, please check out our truly customized and intriguing Critical Role campaign.
The air, and it's about to bring it down before it freezes solid, and then as the coins hit it, it breaks away into thousands of tiny frozen bone fragments.
Thanks for tuning in to day one of BlizzCon Line. See you tomorrow.
Yep, okay. So that was day one. We had some good announcements. Most of it was just documentary. Really leaning away from classic BlizzCon. Like conventions in general. It really didn't feel like a convention more than just a documentary. But you know, there were some good announcements, and hopefully tomorrow will be like more convention like. But I should really end it there. It's nearly 2 AM. Just doing 4 hours. I'm just gonna end it there. See you tomorrow.